26. We are going to get started on today's daily collective read in the next few minutes. But if you would like to get on the list for today, the list, as always, is open. If you get on the list right now, you will be the third person read for. Tis 3 cards for a donation of 29 or more, 4 cards for a donation of 23 or more for my subscribers, Binks in my Lio. Please keep in mind there are 3 things I do not read for across these apps. Those are pregnancy, medical, and legal. Happy to give insight on anything in private readings, and you can book private readings on my site. We're also doing 2 giveaways today. Our first reading giveaway is going to be a reading giveaway when we get to 50K likes. So make sure that you're tapping that screen. We will get to 50K in no time. Prior to beginning today's daily collective read, I will be giving a brief recap on what we've been seeing in the cards over the last few days. If you'd like to find that full reading, you can find it over on the place where we keep the videos. You can also find it over as a podcast over on my spot and over on my stack. But before we get started today, first and foremost, most important question, how are we doing today? Scale of 1 to 10. There are no wrong answers. One of the things I kind of wanted to try to prepare you guys for moving into this full moon cycle is it's off to the races energy, right? It's ready, set, go. And the reason I say that is because, and I wouldn't be surprised if you had that feeling, that kind of hovering between that new moon energy that we experienced, that new moon in Taurus moving into this full moon, the Sagittarian full moon that we just experienced in Gemini season. If you felt like it was very liminal or felt like like a lot of stillness, what you may be feeling right now is a lot of activation. And that has a bit to do with all of the shifts that we effectively see that were coming on the heels of that particular full moon cycle. And what were effectively some of those shifts that we recognized were happening. We had effectively, right, we had that wallop, that really powerful full moon in Sagittarius in Gemini season, and a Sagittarius full moon in Gemini season can often be breakthroughs as it relates to our own. It's like breakthroughs to the doors of perception kind of energy, right? The ability to effectively see pathways forward with a sense of heightened clarity. Then immediately, like boom, 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 immediately after that, right? What did we have happen yesterday? Mercury entering Cancer. We also saw something very interesting yesterday that was occurring in relationality to the fact, and you might have even experienced this a little bit yesterday, the fact that we went through a lunation shift later in the evening, the moon moving out of Sagittarius into Capricorn. And that can add a level of seriousness to things, right? It can I want to the way I like to describe Sagittarius into Capricorn is like when you're like ha ha ha, like that like that. It's like I'm not sure if there's a word for that. I'm not sure if there's an actual word for that, but that's the vibe, right? It's like ha ha ha. Ha. It's the observation of bringing into it's the observation of the space by which one is able to navigate lightheartedness, but also recognizing that lightheartedness is precious, right? Because it's the difference, and this is what you'll kind of see in relationality to how others carry a light heart, right? Because those who take advantage of a light heart will often feel anchored, because it's the space by which we understand and recognize the preciousness by which we energetically carry it. And that's why you've all like it's often, I feel like a lot of the things that we're potentially seeing right now, and that this is going to kind of continue into a lot of the work that we see that's happening right now in the sign of Cancer. um, it, it works into it works into the understanding, of working into deep invested intentions, right? The work that we potentially, the work that we arbitrate within ourselves to move towards our manifestations. And what's beautiful about that, it's the understanding that a healthy manifestation is very much an active embodiment, right? It's not looking around, it's not looking around for the right conditions to arrive, but rather the state by which we understand what we need to bring forth within ourselves to allow for a deeper point of to allow for, like, I want to say, like, nurtured evolution, if you will, or the ability by which we understand and appreciate the journey by which we are continuing to develop or to grow or to learn. And that's what's interesting about this energy right now, because I got to tell you, we would typically ascribe to energy like this, and I'm sure that you kind of saw some energy. I'm sure that you've heard individuals who are like, oh no, the astrology. But taking into account, right, there's something really profound and beautiful that I feel is personally happening astrologically right now, that I feel like others don't put enough weight into, because, like, yeah, it's like, sure, we've got a lot of planets in Aries and that's all well and good, right? But we got Jupiter, Venus, and Mercury, right? We've got Jupiter, Venus, and Mercury right now in Cancer, and Mercury just moved into Cancer. Okay, and Mercury is often the energy of communication. So the ability, like, I like to point this out, like, and I love the way, right? I love the way that we saw the planets recently move into Cancer. Okay, because the order that we see that the planets moved into Cancer is often understanding and recognizing the shape and nature by which we are effectively able to articulate or amplify upon that force of care, right? And so what do we effectively see there, right? We've got Jupiter, and I want to point out, Jupiter in Cancer can feel very heavy, right? It can feel like plumbing the depths. It's like plumbing the depths of emotion. And what's nice about that is the idea of the concept of Venus, right, moving in, like, even as we see Jupiter that's beginning to move away from Cancer into Leo, right? This is almost like the conversation of someone saying, like, I did some deep soul searching, right? I did some deep soul searching, and what did one find in the depths of one's soul? Nothing but love, right? Like, nothing but love. It's like, it's diving into, it's diving into the depths of the unconscious and retrieving love there, right? Being able to effectively see love, being able to feel love, to find the love, right? To find the lost love that one often experiences in relationality to working through, right? Working through the journey of the self. And it's not easy, right? Because often the love that we forget is the love for ourselves, right? It's the love for ourselves that energetically changes things. And so I like the fact that we see that Mercury, like, Mercury is coming into Cancer, because Mercury coming into Cancer, when you've got Jupiter and Venus already there, is a lifting, right? It's a lifting experience. It's the ability to be able to see something with more clarity. It's the ability to be able to proceed with the observation of the energetic vision. So I want you to kind of think about that, if you're experiencing this, or if it feels like it's heavy. um, think about think about the gift that we deliver when we arrive with our perception, right? Because when we come with the delivery of our perception, then that is how we create, that is how we build into the recognition or the understanding. Like, that's where empathy lives. So I want you to be kind of conscientious about that as you're kind of going through this. Now, in relationality to how this is impacting, at the same time that all of this is happening, we also have a pretty dynamic shift that is occurring right now, specifically in relationship path work, because we identified that over the course of that Taurus new moon, we saw that the relationship energy has shifted out of world relationships and we're moving into strength partnerships. I don't mind seeing that. It feels like a natural, logical progression. It is potentially, I'm going to describe it like these relationships that are potentially coming together right now, they're intense. Okay. There's intensity. They're leading with intensity, which is not surprising given what we're seeing. Like Taurus new moon, like Taurus new moon moving into a Sagittarius full moon in Gemini is like introducing oneself from the muchness, being like, yes, hello, I'm a lot. But that, but in the space by which one says like it's the resplendence, right? It's the resplendence of feeling, right, that holistic experience of appreciating the self, right, and holding oneself in one's energetic immensity. Now, as that's related to how it may be impacting the energy that is the energy in, it's having a different impact depending on where you fall in terms of what you connect to energetically. And so yesterday we did a deep dive into masculine, feminine, and non-binary energy, bearing in mind that this is not based on gender, but what one feels most aligned to. And what we effectively saw that was occurring there was, and I got to point this out, very different work right now, but all very important. Okay. And it's working into, right? It's working into the context. And why do we see that the work is different? Because I'm not surprised to see the fact that we identified that we're moving into strength relationships. So conceptualizing on strength through the perception of the energy that one carries, right? Different types of strength, right? And sometimes this is often why we understand, and you have to understand, and this is the most important thing that we see qualitatively across all of those frequencies. Strength is not objective. Strength is subjective. And the reason we identify that strength is subjective is it's only strong if you feel like you're getting stronger as you do it, right? It's only strength training. It's only something that's strengthening if it doesn't lean on a strength that you already have. So I wouldn't be surprised if there are conversations there about entitlement, particularly as it relates to energy, focusing on strong suits, because a lot of that relate like a lot of the stuff that we're seeing there has to do with that understanding or that recognition. Now let's start first with what we were seeing with a lot of the masculine energy. And one of the things that was very intriguing about a masculine's reading yesterday was the fact that we identified there was effectively, you know, there was a seven of wands that was in its transverse. And the thing about it that's really important to pay attention to a certain extent, has to do, or apologies, the Queen of Wands. That's what I meant. The Queen of Wands that was in its transverse. And what do we effectively identify with a Queen of Wands that's in its transverse? And I want to even, I like the thing about it is I want to connect it to the seven, because seven is also important in relationality to that card, because it's understanding that there's the difference between a relationship that feels possessive versus a relationship that feels progressive. And what is the difference between a possessive relationship and a progressive relationship? Possessive relationships are recessive. And why do we say possessive relationships are recessive? Because a possessive relationship is regressive because specifically it requires something to stay the way that it is, right? It's reservoir energy. It's working into, right? It's working into the observation of not feeling the quality of desiring change, but wanting something to remain the same. And so when we understand, right? When we understand that reservoirs, right? That when one has a reservoir, there needs to be the ability to understand. Like reservoirs are meant for refining, right? Reservoirs are meant for refining in the context by which it understands that it's not supposed to be a space of stagnation, but rather a space by which something can evolve and grow. It's a restorative process. So we see that for some of the energy working through that experience, the observation of potentially recognizing, and this is what might be feeling so like emotionally, like a lot of emotional unpacking that may be happening right now for masculine energy. That if one aspires, right, if one aspires for a life changing relationship, it's qualitative on how well you navigate change, right? You can't put mismatched manifestation goals to the universe because the universe is very loving. So if you articulate to the universe that you want a life-changing relationship, you can't say I want a life-changing relationship, but I want everything to stay the way it is, because that's delivering confusing instructions to a universe that wants to grant, like wants to give a genuine gift, but there's no like, how does one go about doing that? There's no quality or approach by which, right, you can facilitate those different quadrants. So we see that there's something very important that may be happening right there in relationality to masculine, not only working on a healed manifestation goal, right? And a healed manifestation goal is one that is not contrary to itself, while simultaneously healing from experiences where one may have felt that one damaged a relationship by delivering contrary instructions to it, because that is the identification point of creating a trauma environment. We also see that that is potentially moving forward as it relates to what we're identifying for a lot of the feminine energy. Feminine is also doing a lot of this work on strength right now. However, one of the things that was very interesting in yesterday's read, and again, you can go to my stack if you'd like to see the full spread, is we had one, two, three, four, five, six cards, six cards arrive in the headspace of feminine. And that is feminine understanding what it feels like to work in an expansive way, which is the observation or the recognition of trying to do everything, right? Like, and this is the thing about it, right? There's the best feminine energy you'll ever see, literally trying to like hold everything together. And the gift, right? The gift that often feminine experiences is those that help, right? It's working into the quality of a genuine gift. And what is feminine? What is a genuine gift for feminine right now? A shoring up, right? The ability of bringing more towards, but shoring up, because it's the ability of understanding the quality and characteristic by which we energetically support one another, or the space by which when one is working in the capacity by which one is trying to do everything. The ability to work collaboratively is often the journey by which we energetically shore up things, because what happens when feminine feels the capacity of energy around the feminine that shores up, then it allows them the ability to take on more, right? So we see that there's a lot of that expansion process that's happening there. However, one of the things I think that I see that is happening for a lot of feminine energy that's very healing is the ability to identify a genuine gift, right? And what is a genuine gift? A genuine gift is the work by which we energetically receive, like the work by which we receive something that is truly healing to us, that not something that reaffirms another's misconceptions of the self. So there may be a lot of work that's happening there, and especially if you pay attention, especially like it's like a conversation on what's actually helpful versus what another person wants to effectively give us or give the self as an energetic gesture. Now, this brings us to non binary energy. And the cards that we saw in the non binary space yesterday were very, like, there was a lot of frustration there. And the one thing I want to articulate is a lot, and I need to stress this because it's very important when we look at the context of the cards. There were no sword cards. There were no sword cards in yesterday's reading, except in the space of the in the non-binary unconscious. Okay, I mean so there was one sword card. There was one sword card in the feminines, and it was the Five of Swords. But it was very secured. It was a continuation of what we saw. But the majority of the sword cards that we saw were coming through in the non-binary space, and there were a lot of similarities in the cards that we saw for non-binary in connection to masculine energy, particularly with the arrival of um, the Page of Pentacles in the same position, not just the same space, not just the same card, but the same exact position in the heart space. So it's working through a context of having to navigate situations or circumstances by which one feels energetically isolated because one is able to perceive things perceive different because of the gift of perception, right? And working into the space by which one often feels like one is out of place, or one is energetically one isn't one is mistranslated very, very frequently, is the best way I keep on seeing that. And what's effectively happening for a lot of that energy is working into, right, having to effectively slow something down, right? Wanting to move with more alacrity, but feeling the need to try to slow things down because that is the shape of love, right? That the space by which one is able to effectively identify or recognize that like that observation, and the space by which another individual is able to, and I think it's interesting too, because the two cards that came through in the heart space were effectively the Page of Pentacles with the Page of Cups, and they were close together. And those are very different pages. Okay, they're very different pages, but they're energetically correlated pages. I actually did a whole, like, my most recent class on the Pentacle suit spoke in detail about the connection point that we see between, right, between those cards. Now, what do we effectively understand in relationality to working through that, right? That observation of the energy, often seeing, right, the misconception of others, recognizing or identifying, right, the experience of the self, is the weight of love is articulated upon believability. And the history of violence, right? The history of violence that we observe in primitive, right? In cultures that have not evolved emotionally or spiritually, is in the negation of others' lived experiences. So the observation of energy, trying to articulate that they feel that they are on the cusp of having to navigate a very cyclical problem, which is the observation of atrocity that often is incurred when energy that is not civilized or has not reached into energetic intelligence articulates the ignorance via the negation of another's lived experience, then this is the energy that's trying to effectively quantify and reveal how that tendency is limiting, because it articulates, it's the understanding of a society that is cultivated, that understands and recognizes that other experiences exist, even if you yourself are not experiencing them. So we see that for a lot of the energy doing that work, having to effectively articulate that, right? And to like literally have to slow it down is the difference between the ability to effectively help another person learn and grow more, right? Which allows for the context of something that is evolving versus the space by which you like, and it's like why you don't have a conversation about with dubious energy, which is the fact by which you can have a dubious conversation with someone as it relates to a fact, but not a person, not a being, not the existence of oneself, because it's the modality by which you realize that you're having a conversation where another person is dubious as to whether your lived experience exists, that you recognize and realize you are having a conversation with an individual who is trying, right? Who's trying to negate, right? That's negation, right? That's negation of existence. It's somebody who potentially tries to, who's literally, you can have a conversation with someone who's trying to erase your energetic experience. So I feel like for a lot of the energy, articulating the difference and why, like why that is so not only not only upsetting and concerning, but dangerous, right? Is almost like the conversation about why it speaks towards a history of violence, right? Because violent histories are not paved by energy articulating their hate. Like the sometimes violent histories are articulated by the desire to hurt, but more times than not, they're often paved by a refusal of energy to accept the reality of another person or individual. Now, that is where we find all of the energy prior to getting today's daily collective read. But if you'd like to find that full reading, you can find it over on the place where we keep the videos. You can also find it over on the place where we keep the photos. You can also find it as a podcast over on my spot at Tarot Church and over on my Stack. I would also encourage you to head over to my Stack to learn more about our next tarot class, which is going to be held on Thursday, June 18th at 6 p.m. PST, 9 p.m. Eastern. We're going to be continuing our studies into the tarot with a focus on the ace cards. If you'd like to become a part of that tarot class program, all you need to do is head on over to my Stack and become a paid subscriber. Your paid subscription to my Stack is your ticket of entry into our live classes each and every month. You will also, as a paid monthly subscriber, have access to over 9 hours worth of material in the Tarot Church Library class archive. Now, it's not necessary to catch up. I'll be doing my best to give you an update on everything we have experienced and studied prior to beginning the next class, but the material is there for you to receive as you're ready to receive it. You'll also have access to a one-on-one chat with me and the other students to ask any questions that you may have in relation to anything we've learned and studied thus far. And if you become a founding member, not only will you receive a discount on the full year's worth of classes, but you'll also have access to over 20 hours worth of material in the Tarot Church Library class archive, as well as the opportunity of receiving a complimentary one-on-one mentorship class with me, where I will meet with you personally to assess where you are on your own personal tarot journey and give you the best insights in terms of how to utilize those classes to the best of your advantage, moving towards your tarot goals going forward. One of the things I tried to do in these classes was make them accessible to the absolute novice tarot reader as well as the seasoned reader. There's definitely something there for everyone. Don't let your lack of experience or your robust experience prevent you from joining us in these classes. And even if you don't become a paid subscriber to my stack, I would encourage you to follow me there to stay up to date on any new offerings or services. I also post my weekly newsletter there, which will let you know about my in-person events as well as my online live schedule and my mystic meditation articles, which will give you updates on everything we've been seeing in the cards based on the lunation cycles. I just wrote one the other day on navigating this full moon energy that we're currently experiencing. Finally, I want to let you guys know that on top of my standard life path readings, I also offer mentorship classes. These are for any of my students that are seeking a more personalized educational experience with me. I take a very limited number of students for this reason, as those classes are focused on each individual's personal spiritual goals and journey work. Those classes can be purchased on an individual level or as a monthly class series, weekly or biweekly, as your schedule permits, so that you can stay more consistent on your personal journey, as well as for those who are seeking more consistent weekly tarot support. I'm very happy to offer weekly tarot insight packages. That is a package of 4 30-minute readings, again, weekly or biweekly, as your schedule permits, so that you can stay more consistent on your journey at a discounted rate, as well as dream interpretation readings, which you can purchase per dream or as a series. Now, if you purchase the series, I would encourage you to start to keep a dream journal, as we will meet weekly or biweekly with that journal and utilize the tarot to understand the key themes and messages coming towards you in the dream space. But let me know in the comments how this energy is impacting you personally, because it is going to hit everybody just a little bit differently. That said, we are going to get started on today's daily collective read in the next few minutes. But if you would like to get on the list for today, the list is open. It is 3 cards for a donation of 29 or more, 4 cards for a donation of 23 or more for my subscribers. Binks in my Lio, please keep in mind there are 3 things I do not read for across these apps: pregnancy, medical, and legal. Happy to give insight on anything in private readings, and you can book private readings on my site. We're also doing a giveaway today when we get to 50K likes. So make sure you're tapping that screen and we will get to 50K in no time. I am going to take a few minutes to read over some of the comments that came through as I was reading. Adam, thank you so much for those gifts. I deeply appreciate you. And thank you so much for joining us, Renee and Ursa. I appreciate you liking all of those likes. Thank you so much. How are you doing as well for joining us? Oh, and thank you as well, Mama. Good to see you. Tina. Hi there, Casey. Denise, thank you for recharging your heart me's. Friends, please remember to recharge your heart me's if you'd like an animal oracle card on top of your 1 card. Thank you so much for the compliment going. Hope you're having a lovely day. All right. For those who are joining us over on the place where we keep the videos, just a reminder that you can also get on the list today via my tree that has Binks in it in my Lio. It is 3 cards for a donation of 29 or more, 4 cards for a donation of 23 or more for my subscribers. If you become a paid member over on the place where we keep the videos, you are also entitled to the same discounted rate that I've articulated for those who are paid members. Hi there, Lala. Welcome, Joey. Thank you for being here and receiving these messages. Welcome, Dalish. If I'm ever saying your name incorrectly, please feel free to correct me. And thank you for subscribing, Lala. I appreciate you. Excellent. And George, welcome as well. And the planets that we can on the other side of Mars. I mean, like the thing about it is, I feel like with all of the work that we see that's happening right now in Mars, a lot of the work that's happening in Cancer is balancing things out. Absolutely. Okay. Thank you so much again for that. Absolutely. Hi there. Preet, I'm happy to read for you on that. If you'd like to get on the list, list is open. It would be 3 cards for a donation of 29 or more, but I'm sending you so much support on that journey. Excellent. Vashi, so we typically do a collective each day. I'm a little short on time today. So we're going to be prioritizing. What we're typically going to do here is we are prioritizing one card readings right now and personal. However, these are donation based readings, and the reason we articulate that they're donation based is often the guides like to send messages to others in the most effective way possible. So the fact that when you give a reading here, there's a very strong possibility someone else needs that message as well. If we have time to do a collective, we will be doing a collective today, but we want to make sure that we're prioritizing those on the list first, as well as those who are paid members. I hope that helps, dear. Excellent. Grand Rising, Denise. Good to see you today. Oh, Tail, thank you so much for being here and receiving these messages. I appreciate it. Hope you're having a beautiful day. Welcome, Chasing, right back at you as well. Ivana, good to see you too. Hi there, MB. Peace to you as well. Oh, thank you, Angelic, for the compliment. Mm. I mean, that's a beautiful way. That's a beautiful way of putting that, Gost. You know, we were like, if you, I would encourage you to head over to the reading that I did yesterday, because that was, there was something very similar or akin to that was coming through when we were doing the read for feminine. You're listening to a lot. You're listening, and a lot of this is resonating. Glad to hear that, Tail. Oh, and I'm so glad to hear our community just teared up. Good to see you, Ro. Hi there, Jenny. Um, ah, my love, I'm sending you so much support on that journey. I don't do medical readings here, but I'm sending you so much. I'm sending you so much care, love, and support. Absolutely. And yeah, thank you as well, Nawaka, for the follow. And thank you as well, Nana, for receiving these messages. Yes, the recap is recorded, Avatar. Thank you for being here and receiving these messages. Thank you, Stella, for letting me know that you sent the information. Heather, thank you for the follow. And Adam, thank you for those gifts. I appreciate you. Lily, thank you for the follow. Spiritually, thank you for the follow. How are you doing today, Jason? All right, my friends, Grand Rising Row, good to see you as well. We are going to get started on personal readings today. We have 3 individuals who are on the list right now. It's a lovely time to get on the list. If you'd like to, you will be the 4th person read for. It's 3 cards for a donation of 29 or more. 4 cards for a donation of 23 or more for my subscribers. Binks in my Lio. Please keep in mind there are 3 things I do not read for across these apps: pregnancy, medical, and legal. Happy to give insight on anything in private readings, and you can book private readings on my site. We read for here highest priority messages from spirit, past life, dream interpretation, mediumship, mind, body, spirit, angelic, love and relationship, guided messages, life path, symbol decoding, and as well as if you have information on dream interpretation, you can include it in the notes when you send the donation. You can also post it in our subscriber only Disco channel in the appropriate channels. We're going to be starting our reads today with Stella. And again, if you have that information you can include that you would like to share with me, you can always include it in the notes when you send the donation, or you can post it in our subscriber only Disco channel in the appropriate channels. I'm just pulling up Stella's read now. Okay. I'm going to take a moment. There's some sensitive information that's here, so I need to take a moment to read over it. While we do so, though, I am going to give you a hearth warmer, something for you guys to speak upon as we do this reading. How are you working to turn I'd like to into a must? How are you building into the space of identifying what it is that you're trying to do in a way that delights, fortifies, and excites you? Excellent. Hmm. I got it. Okay, thank you, dear. Can I please get, thank you for, can I please get 4 cards, please? Thank you for being the first person on the list today. You'll actually have an additional card in your reading, so 5 cards. Oh, got 6 cards coming through. Yeah, it's interesting because it feels, and before we continue, we're also going to warm up those intuition muscles with an intuition check. I've got the animal oracle cards here. When we count back from 10, I will reveal the card. 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Nikki. Starting our day strong. It's interesting because a lot of the reading I'm getting right now is coming through as angelic. And you have to understand there's something really important from a spiritual perspective. Energy that turns blind eyes to things, energy that turns blind eyes to things is just as culpable as energy that does something, right? Because it's the modality or the experience by which, when energy turns by blind eyes, they build, what they're doing is they build places where atrocities can occur, right? It's the observation of the turning of the blind eye, if you will, that potentially identifies, right? It identifies the work by which it allows another person to proceed upon doing something. And so I keep on seeing that what's happening right now is you're potentially perceiving others, right? And I want to describe this. If it feels like that energy is avoiding you, it's because they identify that they're culpable in it too, right? That if you're you because you have to understand, I see a situation by which you're potentially shining a light on something, right? You're bringing something into clearer perspective. So I keep on seeing that for a lot of the energy potentially doing that work, that observation and that understanding of being able to recognize and identify the fact that you are the fact that you're energetically speaking upon things. I feel like this is why, right? This is why your ability to energetically see the energy more clearly around you is because I feel like you're seeing the energy that is complicit, right? You're observing the energy that is complicit in another person's um, bad behavior, if you will, right? And the bad behavior that I'm potentially identifying and recognizing here is is the observation, right? It's the observation of energy that may have been aware, right? That may have been aware that the energy was effectively, that this individual was doing something like this for quite some time. And then I want to point out, the space by which you have to navigate, um, what feels like, and I keep on getting, there's something here that feels even more severe, right? There's something here that we see that is even more severe than what you potentially navigated. And I want you to understand this, right? As you heal, you're probably going to become more aware of the severity of something that occurred to you, right? Particularly and especially, particularly and especially in the modality by which another person um tries to energetically articulate upon you being energetically fine with something, right? Because the state or nature by which you've continued to articulate to an individual that there was nothing, that what was effectively happening was not something that was mutually agreed upon, right? Like that's grievous. And a lot of the space by which they potentially articulated to you, right? Like the shape of the trauma that they created in relationality to the setting of the expectations. And then, right, potentially working in, like literally trying to go through like like a moment of trying to amplify or articulate to you that something did not occur. um I see, it feels to me, and I feel like this is what's effectively happened right now, that whatever I'm identifying that's occurred here has, and that's what I said, messages incoming. I would not be surprised if there's something that occurs where in the last moment, right? In the last moment, somebody tries to articulate to you the fact that they're willing to give you a reprieve. Because I keep on saying, if they try at the last moment to say that they're giving you a reprieve, it's because they're terrified. I just keep on getting the same message. It's because they're terrified of meeting you where they told you that they would meet you. Because I just keep on seeing, I keep on hearing, it's it's giving me like someone who's trying to, like it feels like somebody trying to strike fear in you, because the modality by which I see somebody like literally leading, I almost see like somebody trying to lead you to the door of something that they themselves, but the door that they themselves are absolutely terrified to go through. And so when I say I see a relationship, I see a relationship that is falling apart in the wake of this. I keep on seeing that the relationship that's falling apart in the wake of this is a relationship that can't navigate the truth that you're energetically bringing to a situation or circumstance. Because what's basically happened here is I see a situation by which an individual, like I see somebody saying, oh, you must care about this person because you don't want to meet them there. And another person saying, it's not that I care about them, it's because I'm genuinely scared of what will happen if I meet them in the place that you aspire me to meet them, because then the truth, the truth will come, right? Like the truth will be revealed. And so it's interesting because it feels to me like, and I want to point out the reason this person now feels kinship to you, because the violation, right? The violation of them feeling like they're in a situation of someone saying, do this or else, it might be the first time in their experience that they've ever felt truly victimized, right? Because and I hear them articulating to themselves and saying they don't even care what I have to say about it. They don't care about my feelings. Oh my God. Oh my God. This is what they must have felt like. Okay. So this is what's effectively happened. So there's a situation. right? There's a situation by which like another person is forcing their hand on something, and in the modality by which they now feel that they have no say in their future, right? That they're being pushed against a wall. They feel energetically violated because another person's giving them an ultimatum. And in that moment, they now feel more energetically connected to you than they ever have before, because it's a recognition by which they say, this is what they must have felt like. This is what they must have felt like the entire time. Bottom of the deck. It's a painful, right? It's a painful, it's a pain, it's a painful revelation, right? I feel like it's deepening their empathy to you, but in a way by I keep on hearing, but I keep on in a way by which is so surreal that they can't believe it's happening, is what I keep on getting. Thank you so much for having that reading with me, dear. And if this message connected to you as well, it's very common for those who need from the energy they least expected it from, basically, right? From the energy they least expected it from. Thank you so much for having that reading with me, dear. And if this message connected to you as well, it's very common for those who need these messages to be here to experience them. We are doing personal readings right now. If you would like to get on the list, you will be the third person read for. 3 cards for a donation of 29 or more. 4 cards for a donation of 23 or more for my subscribers. Binks in my Lio, please keep in mind there are 3 things I do not read for across these apps: pregnancy, medical, and legal. Happy to give insight on anything in private readings, and you can book private readings on my site. I'm going to take a moment to read over some of the comments that came through as it was reading. Excellent. And thank you for those hearts, Claire. Good to see you today. Okay. Grand Rising Row. Yes. Thank you as well. How you doing today, Chasing? Yeah, she's finally here for it. I know. It's been happening. I have to point out, Nikki, that's been happening every morning. So it's very, yep, absolutely. I know it's intense. It was very complicated, but that's what was coming through. And thank you. I'm so glad. Thank you for confirming you understand it. Jay, thank you for the follow. Yeah, truth will be revealed. The truth always will be revealed. They feel it's close. Yeah, they're having a moment of deep empathy. That's why it is wild. Like I keep wondering, from the space they least expected it from. Exactly. Beautifully stated, Nikki. You're so welcome, dear. I hope that helps. No, you don't, Claire. You have nothing to apologize for. Like the whole purpose, the whole reason we have a hold list is understanding that these reads should come to you when you're ready, when you're ready to receive them. You know. How are you doing today, Ivy? This is live tarot cart. Happy Pride, XI. Hi there, Luffy. I have no idea what that means. All right, let's continue right now. All right, we're going to continue. The next person on the list for today is Yaz. Yaz, if you're here, can you respond in all caps? Let me know if you'd like a general reading or if you have a specific question you'd like me to answer. And if anybody else wants to get on the list for today, it's an absolutely lovely time to get on the list. You'll be the third person read for. 3 cards for a donation of 29 or more. 4 cards for a donation of 23 or more for my subscribers. Binks in my Lio. Second call right now for Yaz. Second call right now for Yaz. If Yaz is not here yet, the next person, Claire, you're actually the next person we're reading for today. Yep, I got you. And in the meantime, while we wait for Claire's question, let's warm up those intuition muscles with an intuition check. I've got the animal oracle cards here. We're going to count back from 10. And when we get to 1, I will reveal the card. 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. We got the blackbird. We'll do that again after the next reading. Oh, look at you guys. That's interesting. Okay, let's keep that one in our pocket. Claire, could you let me know if we're doing a general reading or if you have a specific question you'd like me to answer? Yeah, you are twinning. And thank you so much, Lonnie, for the follow. I appreciate it. Absolutely. Second call for Claire right now. Second call for Claire. Yep, I got you. Yep. Please have past life reading. Okay, hold on a minute. Pinning you up here. Claire, if they're not here, can I please have a past life reading centered around lessons I learned or didn't learn in relationality to love? Gotcha, dear. All right. Can I get Can I get 4 cards, please? One more. Oh, wow, I got an extra card here. Oh, man, they're stuck together. I need a book for you. Hold on a minute. Got a lot of messages coming through. There's like, I'm looking into your Akashic right now, and the message I'm getting that's like, really, like really loud, is love doesn't invite danger to our doorstep. Love doesn't invite danger. Love, you don't flirt with danger, because when you flirt with danger, you invite danger to your doorstep, is what I keep on getting. Right? Like all you do when you flirt with danger is you're inviting danger to your doorstep. Is what I get. And I feel like I see some kind of situation that, like, I just keep on identifying, like, and it's interesting too, because I've got some kind of energy here of someone, like someone who in a past life cared about you profoundly, but they couldn't, like, I feel like I just keep on seeing somebody who couldn't, like, they were addicted to danger, is what I keep on getting. Right? Like they had it, they're a danger. I'm going the danger addict. Is what I keep on getting, danger addict. And the thing about it is, like danger addicts. um I see somebody who was like very good professionally for that reason, right? Because and I like to point this out, those who are danger addicts are usually like they're great professionally, personally not so great, right? Because it's like it's a type of energy that feels the anxiety upon leaving a stone unturned. And I basically like I see some kind of situation, right? I feel like there's something unresolved karmically between you and another person, because I literally see the fact that you are like you are everything, right? You are energetically everything that another person desired. But when one becomes everything that one desires, right? The observation of another, that like the observation of another, right? Like I feel like the last thing they saw in you was danger, because you're their energetic safe space. And so, and what's hard about it is like I literally see a situation that potentially, like I see a situation by which you felt forced to leave. And the reason I see like, and what's hard and what's painful about it is I literally see a situation of someone trying to tell you as you're leaving how much they loved you. But I can almost hear you saying to them as you walked out the door, I know you love me, but I think you love danger just a little bit more, is what I keep on hearing. You know, I think you love danger just a little bit more. And I literally like, I feel like the thing about it is I almost see somebody who like ended destitute, right? Because the thing about it is when you love danger too much, you end up destitute, right? Because destitute, like you become destitute because you end up losing everything, because you build into, right, you build into like it's the risk that inevitably, like if you don't cure this, like it's the risk that eventually, it's not if, it's just when. So I feel like that's what I potentially see, and it's hard too, because I see some kind of situation by which you and a counterpart were forever estranged, like forever estranged for that reason, right? Because I feel like I see you kind of working, like I feel like I see it. And what's interesting about it is like I see a situation by which like I see a situation by which you tried to articulate to someone. I see a situation by which you tried to do your best to communicate to another individual, where that path would inevitably go, right? But the thing I keep on seeing is like the thing I keep on observing there is I feel like I see some kind of observation where another individual, like I keep on hearing, it's like it's hard because like I literally see somebody that was trying to make it up to you for the rest of their experience. But like it like, I keep on seeing like once we see, like once one sees that quality and characteristic in another, one can never feel safe again, right? Like that's what I kept on seeing there. Like I see you kind of having to work through the fact that you recognized that you were in love with a danger addict, and that they would always like that, you knew that something that you saw reaffirmed to you that you knew that when it came to you or danger, they couldn't help but choose danger. And I feel like what's interesting about that is I felt like I literally see the space by which I see you having prospered in a life, right? Like moving through prosperously, but also with a heavy heart for that reason. bottom of the deck on this reading. Yeah, you know, like especially, I wouldn't be surprised. I wouldn't be surprised if there are experiences or situations by which energy, like you arrived here very strong. Like you arrived here very strong. Like this is strong energy, right? Because I feel like I see, like I wouldn't be surprised um if you help others. I don't know if you do something where you help others with addiction, but it's like the one thing I feel like I see that you came here with was an understanding that addiction has nothing to do with the chemicals outside of the self, but the chemicals inside ourselves. You can be addicted, like you can be addicted to a toxic emotion, and your addiction to a toxic emotion is why, like, will effectively, like I see you almost like working through and trying to help another person understand that the observation of feeling, being addicted to a bad feeling is something that can effectively, like it's like I keep on getting like mind altering, right? Because that's often what trauma does, right? That's the problem with it. Trauma makes us addicted to danger, right? Like there you are, there somebody is growing up in a trauma environment, and all they're getting from it is a bad addiction to danger, is what I'm getting. So I feel like I see you. I don't know why I feel like I see you very like doing some kind of work in creating healthy environments, because it's your observation of understanding that the way, like it's wrapped up in your purpose, because I literally see you having lost someone to danger in a past life. So if you feel like there's something you do there that it feels really important to you, like if you feel like there's something connected to your purpose as it relates to creating safe spaces, or making sure, like especially early on, I keep on getting early development in safe spaces. I feel like that is you continuing to try to heal the relationship with that counterpart that you lost, because you understand, like I see you kind of working in the source by which something initially started. Thank you so much for having that reading with me, dear. And if this message connected to you as well, it's very common for those who need these messages to be here to receive them. These are donation based reads. If you'd like to get on the list right now, you will be the second person read for. It's 3 cards for a donation of 29 or more. 4 cards for a donation of 23 or more for my subscribers, Bing Similayo. Please keep in mind there are 3 things I do not read for across these apps: pregnancy, medical, and legal. Happy to give insight on anything in private readings, and you can book private readings on my site. I'm going to take a moment to read over some of the comments that came through as I was reading. Okay. NJ, thank you for the follow. Tara, I'm happy to read for you on that. If you'd like to get on the list, you'll be the second person read for. NJ, thank you for the follow. Mm-hmm. And thank you guys for supporting each other in the comments, especially with some of these heavier readings. Absolutely. And Lonnie, thank you for the follow. Ashley, thank you for getting on the list. You'll be the second person read for. If anybody else wants to get on the list right now, you will be the third person read for. This is exactly how I felt in a recent situation. Oh, thank you for also receiving this message, Tail. You're so welcome, Claire. Thank you for being here and receiving these messages. All right, perfect. The next person we're reading for today, second call to see if Yaz is here. If Yaz is not here, the next person we're reading for today is Ashley. Ashley, if you're here, can you respond in all caps? Let me know if you would like a general reading or if you have a specific question you would like me to answer. And if anybody else wants to get on the list for today, it's a great time to get on the list. You'll be the next person read for. 3 cards for a donation of 29 or more. Hand, you articulate upon the fact that my appearance offends you. I've got some bad news for you. I do not exist for your appeal. I hate to break it to you. I hate to be the bearer of bad news. Nor does anyone else. Nor does anyone else who's here. I hate to break it to you. Others do not exist for your appeal. And I hope with that you're able to heal. How you doing today, Nathan? How are you doing today, Ivy? Excellent. Um, I mean, it's a very good question. In terms of you, I think it's already happening. I have somebody on, Musk is asking me over on the place where we keep the videos about quantum theory and interdimensional travel. I like to point out if that was happening, we probably wouldn't be able to perceive it if we don't perceive that dimension. So it's not a question for me. It's not a question as to whether it's happening. It's how do we perceive it occurring? It's like it's a perception issue. It's not an actuality issue. It's a perceptual issue. Hmm. Yummers. I'm a risk lover because I have nothing to lose. And I want to point this out. But you do though. Here's the thing about it, right? Integrity. Like you have to recognize that there's always something to be lost or gained, right? Our hands are never empty. Danger Mouse, yeah, that was a banging show. I love it. It was a great show. Yep. Mm-hmm. Oh wow. I just want to point out, guys, I just want to point out, there it's really beautiful to see energy projecting insecurity because there's literally someone over on, their name is King Alfred dash T4E, who's articulated the fact that they don't want to receive information from half of the population of this planet, okay, who has decided that based upon gender, they determine whether they feel someone is intellectually adept. My friends, I just want to present to you I just want to present to you this magnificent being who has made, with all of their bright intelligence, has made the determination that they cannot hear or listen to half the energetic population on this entire planet. It's remarkable. I mean, it's incredible. And I mean, I'm gonna have to go ahead and I need to point this out. And I think it's actually very important too to a lot of the work that we're seeing that's potentially happening right now with this energy, because especially when we've got Jupiter in Cancer, it can bring up a lot of insecurities as it relates to work that we haven't done. And I need to point out the things that we are afraid of, we often fear we are just like. So the space by which I see the fact that this individual is working through the context by which they carry fear is probably the space by which it impacts a lot of the relationships, nor have they probably had healthy relationships because they're not looking for relationships of equality via V dominance. So I would just want to point that out, King. I hope that you heal from whatever hurt you in the way by which you're potentially expecting that others exist to be appealing to you, because you're potentially creating the world around you that is built upon hate, because what you articulate, you receive. So I'm saying this with you to you with a sense of deep empathy. Try putting a little love in spaces and see how it might change your perception of things, because that you're basically speaking hate speech right now. You are the force of hate in the world, and in the space by which you speak from hate, you probably find a lot of hate in your life. So if you want to start finding the love that you feel is absent, start building forth with having compassion for yourself. Go to the mirror and start saying some affirming things about yourself, because what's really happening right now is you've got some childhood wounds. You want me to fight with you. You want me to replicate a situation where someone spoke badly to you. So you're speaking badly to me, hoping that I will engender that person for you. I can't be that person that hurt you, but you can be the person that heals you. And I hope this message helps you find the healing that you seek. And I hope you find a better day than the one that you're currently not only experiencing, but the one that you're the unhealthy, unhappy experience that you're trying to spread, not only to myself, but to those who are here trying to receive messages of peace, love, and light. I wish you the best on your journey. All right. Apologies for that, my friends. We are going to continue right now. I'm going to take a moment. Absolutely. Excellent. And thank you so much, Dada, for sharing the live. Always appreciate when you share the live. Hi there, Martin. I'm happy to read for you on that. If you'd like to get on the list is open. You'll be the third person read for today. Hi there, Ash. Good to see you, dear. How you doing right now? Excellent. Yeah, I mean, Bridget, it's entirely up to you. If you want to do it separately, we can do it separately, or we can integrate it into our work this evening. However you prefer to navigate that is entirely the way that we can work through that. I've got a lot of messages to give you as well in that, because often what happens when I'm doing mentorship is a lot of messages start coming through and I'm like, oh, okay, I just need to kind of store this for when I see this person. You're so welcome, Claire. Thank you again for having that reading with me and sending you so much support on that journey. Perfect. How are you doing? We're doing a life path reading for Ash right now. Absolutely. And thank you, Bridget, for sharing the live. Always appreciate when you guys share the live. Before we continue with Ash's reading, let's warm up those intuition muscles with an intuition check. I've got the Animal Oracle card here. We're going to count back from 10. And when we get to 1, I will reveal the card. 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. We got the stag. We'll be doing that again after the next reading. All right, let's get to it. And I'm going to pin up Ash here. Just bear with me a moment, please. Four cards. You know, and it's funny too, Ash, as soon as I started reading for you, there was like a lot of this volatile energy popping up. So we're gonna get into that in a minute. Yeah, we're gonna keep that right here. I feel like you've had a breakthrough in something. I'm gonna pin up Ash here, guys. Make sure to give Ash some love. Let me just pin you up, dear. Like, it feels like I need to point out, like, I keep on getting imminent breakthrough. And the thing about it, you have to understand, and I need to stress this, okay? And I just need to point this out. Often when we're in the midst of having an imminent breakthrough, the energy around us gets absolutely ridiculous. Okay? I know it seems a little bit wild, but the thing about it is you have to recognize or identify what's energetically worthy of your time right now. You know, and I keep on hearing, like, the words I keep on getting is worthy of your time. Worthy of your time. And the reason I keep on getting worthy of your time is because like it's like there's like it feels like I'm not like I gotta point this out. You know, I feel like I've seen you over the last 8 months having to really push through something. Really push through something. And the thing about pushing through is I feel like I see you pushing through in the face of others' doubts. Right? Like in the face of like and it's weird, right? There you are trying to do something that's not bothering anybody. And it's real weird. It's very revealing when there's energy going, are you sure you want to do that? Are you sure? Like, why are you doing that? Like, and why, like, I see you saying to somebody, why does it matter to you? You know? Because, and that's what's so painful, because, and this is what often happens on the journey of moving towards our purpose, right? Start moving towards your purpose. See who it triggers. And then in the midst of seeing who it triggers, you can identify who's truly in alignment to your purpose, or who's there, like who's been there the whole time, like keeping you in a limited state. Keeping you in a limited state of mind is what I keep on getting. A limited state of mind, right? Everything fine. I keep on hearing everything fine as long as you're in a limited state of mind, right? Like everything fine as long as you're in a limited, like a limited state of mind, right? And here's the thing about it, right? Nothing like a limited state of mind, like an individual that wants to potentially keep us in a limited state of mind is often the amplification of working through, like it's, I often feel like it's characteristic of immature energy, right? Because what does immature energy often say? That's impossible, right? Like that's what limited energy says. Limited energy, like there's limited energy, and all they do, like all limited energy does, is talk about impossibilities instead of what's possible. So I feel like I see you, like I literally see you having gone through the last 8 months of piercing the veil. I keep wondering, piercing the veil of others' impossibility. Is what I keep wondering. Peeling, peeling back the veil in others' impossibility as you're moving into alignment with yourself. So I feel like, again, like even in the space by which I see some kind of breakthrough having occurred, or either in the midst of occurring, because it's not, I feel like it's just begun, right? Um, I feel like this breakthrough, right? And I want to point this out. And I'm gonna hold your hand when I say this, right? The energy that was continually saying that you couldn't do something can't move with you into your manifestation goal, right? The energy that was perpetually saying, right? The energy that was perpetually saying that you couldn't do something can't be there with you as you're doing it, right? And it's painful, right? It's painful when one acknowledges that, because I feel like a lot of the work that I see that you're navigating right now is finding, right, is finding energy, like finding energy that's in connection to you. And I want to describe what I'm potentially seeing here is, I wouldn't be surprised if you're potentially going through a period right now that you may feel um, a little energetically isolated, is what I keep on getting. And I want to point out, there's an energy right now in the chat space, and the energy that's in the chat space, the reason that I haven't proceeded to mute them is because it's a perfect example of what I'm articulating, right? It's a perfect example of the type of energy that I see that you yourself are going to have to kind of like move through to a certain extent and navigate, because I literally, like, I keep on getting the same message when you're sitting there in an energetic experience and you're defying, right? You're redefining. In the process by which you're redefining, you're seeing the energy that you are defying, right? In the process of redefining, right? In the process, I keep on getting, in the process of redefining, right? Be prepared to fully see the energy you're defying, right? The energy you're defying, and how will that energy appear to you, right? They'll appear to you via V negation, right? They'll appear to you, they'll appear to you via V negation, right? They'll appear to you, they'll appear to you by trying to diminish, they'll appear to you by trying to diminish something that you're energetically doing. They'll try to energetically trivialize it, right? They'll try to trivialize it because they're afraid of it. Okay? They'll try to trivialize it because they're afraid of it. And I feel like that's important because I feel like the one thing I'm identifying is don't be affected by it. Okay? Absorb, like observe, but don't absorb. And if the volume, right? If the volume gets louder in terms of energy, right? And I just keep on hearing the same message. If it's so trivial, why are you screaming about it? Right? If it's so trivial, why are you screaming? Right? Because it's very interesting. I keep on saying your confirmation, okay? Your confirmation is if it's so trivial, right? If it's so trivial, why are you screaming? Because the space by which, right? The space by which another person shouts, like that's your koan, right? The space by which another person shouts that something is immaterial, like that is the energy that's like see it as see it as arrows pointing in the right direction, right? There it is, right? Somebody being like, no, don't, no, no, it's trivial, it's nothing, don't look at that. Really? If it's okay, okay, like that's the type of energy I'm seeing. Being like, why are you being so loud if it's so trivial? Right? Listen to the volume. Listen to the volume, not the words. Because immateriality, if something is immaterial, it doesn't require someone to yell about it being immaterial. Bottom of the deck on this reading, you're finding your path, right? You're finding your energetic purpose here. And I know it's hard because like I wish I could say that we're in an experience where others find their purpose and energy is like woohoo. Because that's the way it should be, right? The way it should be is when we find our purpose, the only sound we should hear is applause, right? But energy that wants to keep us, right? Like the individuals in our lives that profit from us instead of delight in us will often see us moving towards our purpose and get very volatile about it. But I want to point out if you experience more volatility, that probably means you're moving in the right direction, right? If you're experiencing volatility as you're doing something trivial, never are you identifying something more important. Thank you so much for having that reading with me, dear. And if this message connected to you as well, it's very common for those who need these messages to be here to experience them. We are doing personal readings right now. If you would like to get on the list is open. It is 3 cards for a donation of 29 or more, 4 cards for a donation of 23 or more for my subscribers. Binks in my Lio. Please keep in mind there are 3 things I do not read for across these apps: pregnancy, medical, and legal. Happy to give insight on anything in private readings, and you can book private readings on my site. I'm going to take a moment to read over some of the comments that came through as it was reading. And it's amazing too, because as like this is again the space by which, and I just want to point out that individual who was posting that, it's a new account, right? Like if you look here, like if you take a look at this individual here, right? Like this is what we see in relationality to like someone like a false naysayer. Because if you see that, you'll see the fact that it's a brand new account that someone started just to articulate here. Like that's the type of energy like I feel like you're going to have to kind of like navigate or work through to a certain extent. Don't let it bother you. Let it reaffirm to you that you're doing something very energetically important. And again, I apologize you guys had to experience that, but I was trying to keep it there as a perfect example of what we were potentially seeing. Thank you. Happy to read for you, NM. If you'd like to get on the list is open. And thank you so much for getting on the list, Elisa. You'll be the next person read for. Mm-hmm. Grand Rising, Ella. Good to see you today. And thank you for confirming you had a big breakthrough this weekend. And Maria, thank you for the follow as well. Mm-hmm. Yeah. Yes, I just broke. Okay, I'm just reading over Ash what you wrote. You just broke through a huge hurdle. And I'm like, what now? How do I keep going? Just, I feel like a lot of this right now is like, I feel like the breakthrough is getting to the right people. Like it felt very much like, I'm like, it feels like finding, like, it feels like something about you finding those you energetically connect with or share your opinion upon something. Thank you for the help, Nikki. I left for a second, came back to Kooky Land. It was related to the reading. Yeah, it was related to the reading. Yeah, I mean that's the thing about like did you notice like it was like on cue like as soon as I started talking about it there like it was just like perfect case in point kind of energy. Mhm. You're so welcome, Ash. Sending you so much support on that journey. I hope these messages help right now. Thank you. Good to see you, Glam. No, no, you don't have anything to apologize for. Like if anything, like I want to point out it feels like beehive stirring in the best way possible, right? Like it's beehive stirring in the best way possible. All right, let's continue right now. I don't know, Dynamite. Is there an issue in relationality to how you're hearing me? How are you? Oh, PW, thank you for that. I appreciate you. How you doing today? Hi there, Oscar. Welcome. And thank you for those flowers. Appreciate them. Absolutely. Yes. Um Yeah, I mean, like the thing is, like I'm honestly like I need to point out, I often feel like the space or nature by which we recognize, the Colleen, the space by which bad things happen, we have the opportunity to make things good, right? Like the quality and understanding, and I feel like that's the nature of things, right? When things are happening that are not ideal, like that is the opportunity by which we like that is us answering the call to be able to do something better than has ever happened before. We have that possibility within us at every moment. We just have to energetically work towards it. And it's heavy, right? It requires work, it requires activation. But when we understand that we are each other's, like we are the answer that we're energetically looking for, then we work to create the world that we hope and aspire to see. Absolutely. All right, let's continue right now. Absolutely. Good to see you today, Glam. How you doing today? Oh, thank you for also receiving this message, Moon. I know it's a lot of transmuting right now. It's just transmute. Just transmute it. Just transmute it. Absolutely. Oh, you did. You guessed the B. That's wild. You see that? Grand Rising, Laurel. Good to see you. Guys, make sure to give Laurel some love. Readers supporting readers. I got you, dear. Okay. And the next person we're reading for today is Alyssa. And guys, if anybody else wants to get on the list right now, it's a lovely time to get on the list. You'll be the next person read for. What's going on with your back? What's going on? What's going on there? What are you carrying? Okay, we're going to get to it. Yeah, I know. Okay, it's all right. We're going to get into it. Before we continue right now with Alyssa's reading, let's warm up those intuition muscles with an intuition check. Yeah, you've got like, I don't like, I've got all of this, like what's going on? Like, yeah, you're storing something. I've got it. All right. I've got the animal oracle card here. We're gonna count back from 10. And when I get to 1, I'm gonna reveal the card. 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. We got the hair. We'll do that again after the next reading. All right, let's get to it. And I'm going to pin up Glam here. Guys, make sure to give Glam some love. Okay, let's see here. Mm-hmm. Yeah. You got it. Like, it's like, I'm getting a lot of outside energy for you. You got it. It's an energetic. You got it. You got to move around more, is what I'm getting. You know? Because like the thing about it is like I don't know if you recognize this, but like you've got a lot of you've got like energy purifiers become storers, if you will, is what I'm seeing. Um like energy purifiers become storers. And the thing about it is um you've got to release it. Like especially if you've been around someone carrying something heavy. You know, I feel like I see you helping somebody go through something right now. I feel like I see you helping someone go through something right now. And the thing I'm observing in relationality to this work is, you know, I feel like you probably recognize this. Like you like if somebody articulates, like if someone just says to you like, "Oh, I feel so much better after being here." Like that's because you're absorbing a lot of their negative energy. And you got to release that, is what I keep on getting. And I'm getting here like the thing about it is it feels to me like um it feels like a lot of it is being stored in it's being stored in this like in the hip energy, is what I keep on getting, right? So I feel like you need to make sure that you're walking around more. Like I would say like I'm like I know like I don't want to make this like I feel like you have to move it out. And when I say move it out, I mean actively move it out. And then I keep on and I know if you don't feel like you have time for it, that's why you need it even more. Like it doesn't it says to me like even like I keep on hearing like 20, you have to think of it. I keep on seeing you can't think of it as it's not exercising, it's exercising. Is what I keep on getting. It's not, it's, I keep on hearing it's not exercising, it's exorcising. Okay. It's exorcising, which means like you've got to allow for some space of energetically releasing it, is what I keep on getting. I feel like it's like the thing about it is you take on a lot of you take on a lot of energy. You take on a lot of energy each day, and a lot of it um like I feel like a lot of it is you kind of like you have to like I mean I think it's gonna I know this is gonna sound you have like what you're doing is energetically spiritual. Okay. And I want you to kind of keep that in mind. You give people spiritual refreshes, right? If somebody leaves, if somebody enters and they feel low, and they leave and they feel high, right? Right? Like where do you think all that negative energy where do you think like, where do you think all that negative energy went? Is what I keep on getting. So I want you to I feel like you need to start bringing like a little bit of a spiritual quality, right? You have to start putting a bit more of a spiritual quality into something that you're doing, because I just keep on getting something that you do is very sacred, which is why, like, as soon as I started reading for you, it was like the sacral area was like, just like, it feels like I feel like you've got like a sacral blockage, is what I'm getting. Like, I just keep on getting, you've got a sacral blockage, and the best way to fix a sacral blockage is through like actual physical activation, right? I know it sounds a little odd, but like, there's some, like, depending, like that one is one that often can be cleared like through movement, particularly and especially, um like, just like, it's like I keep on getting like working something through the system to a certain extent. um it's also interesting too, because I just keep on seeing, um we got to talk a little bit about what's going on right now with you with relationship, because something I'm identifying here, like with relationship, um your boundaries aren't going to break anything good. Your boundaries are not going to break anything good. And I mean that really importantly, because I feel like the thing about it is, when I drew these cards, I've got I got three people around you, right? I've got three people around you that want to come towards you. And again, because like, but like, if they don't want the same thing as you, conversation over is what I'm getting. And the reason I'm getting the reason I'm getting conversation over, like, particularly and especially because, like, I feel like it's interesting because I keep on seeing, like, you need somebody, right? You need somebody who is respected here, is what I keep on getting. Somebody who believes that, I keep on getting, it's important to find someone, like, and the message is coming through, and it's interesting because it does feel like it's connected to a divine counterpart. We don't need to believe the same things to respect each other's beliefs, is what I'm getting, right? Because I've got a divine counterpart that keeps on putting their fingers here. And I keep on getting, we don't need to believe the same things to have the same standards, right? We don't need to believe the same things to have the same standards. So let your standards do the talking. Don't let it be the like the last conversation you have, let it be the first one. Because the thing about it is, like, I can see, right? Like, the thing I keep on getting, okay? And this is what I meant about energy cleansing. Like, I feel like I see a lot of energy, um like, leaving their karmic shadows upon you, which is like the space by which you're literally in a space by which another person articulates all the negative things that have been happening, that then you potentially feel like you're carrying. So, um I want you writing down, like, I want you, like, this is going to sound, and I need you writing down right now, if you're working to find counterpart, a healthy relationship story, right? Because the thing you have to understand is, they exist, but they exist, but the space by which you occupy like energy, like how do I explain this? You've got energy that feels like they need a spiritual refresh. And so they're coming to you with their negative stories, right? As to why they need the energetic refresh. And then there you are carrying all of those woes for them. So, what we see that you potentially might need to do right now is I want you to make sure that you're writing down, right? You're writing down what you and divine counterpart are doing, what that relationship will look like, what it will heal within you, because that is going to act. And I keep on getting, I want you to keep it close to you as you're working, and I want you to read it, like read it between, like read it during the day to fortify you, is what I keep on seeing, because it's going to help nourish you as you're navigating a lot of that heavy energy I see that you're working through. Bottom of the deck. Yeah, like especially with this world and its reversal, the thing about it that I keep on seeing is you have to think about the fact there's a lot of energetic shedding that happens around you. Okay? And often, right? Like often when we're navigating others' energetic shedding, it can be like there's a quality by which we can have the tendency of picking up picking up a lot of that, what's the word I want to look that I'm looking for right now, the tendency of picking up um a lot of others residue, is what I keep on getting, energetic residue. Okay, so I feel like the thing you have to be like do, I really want you working on, right? I want you working on I want you to put focus on an embodied spiritual cleansing practice. Because what I'm seeing with you working through an embodied spiritual cleansing practice is you recognizing like that is you potentially like clearing yourself of the energetic residue in relationality to those that you're working with. And I feel like even in the space by which like you have to understand you can cleanse through movement, right? So especially in the fact that you're storing it there, like your ability of potentially finding a place and then making that, like being intentional on the fact that you're doing that specifically for the reason of energetic cleansing, like I feel like it's gonna potentially help you feel like it's gonna help you feel more energized as as you're doing something. Because, and here's the thing about it, the more you do it, the less you accumulate, right? Thank you so much for having that reading with me, dear. And if this message connected to you as well, it's very common for those who need these messages to be here to experience them. We are doing personal readings right now. If you would like to get on the list is open. You'll be the next person read for. It's 3 cards for a donation of 29 or more. 4 cards for a donation of 23 or more for my subscribers, being Semi-Lio. Please keep in mind there are 3 things I do not read for across these apps: pregnancy, medical, and legal. Happy to give insight on anything in private readings, and you can book private readings on my site. I'm going to take a moment to read over some of the comments that came through as I was reading. I mean, I never understand. So, sir, like Max, I never understand individuals who you can't mishmash Bible verses together to form complete sentences. Are you talking about John or Ezekiel? Because those are very different missives that are coming through those messages. John is working into the perception of watching Yeshua. Ezekiel is describing visions. So I need to point out when you're quoting Ezekiel themselves was effectively channeling. So you can't merge the words of John and Ezekiel to form paragraphs, because they're talking about very different things. I've got both of the book. I've got 2 versions of the book here. And I would be happy in a different time or space. I would be happy to unpack those with you. But it's very telling to me when individuals just memorize quotes from a book, but have a hard time unpacking who the individual was, what they were talking about. Because taking things out of context is how you become a false prophet. I hope that helps. Thank you. Absolutely. And thank you as well, Ava. Good to see you today. Not the worst thing I've been called, Boquito. So thank you. All right, we're going to continue right now. Absolutely. And just reading over your messages, dear. I'm so glad. Oh, thank you, Moon. I'm glad that I'm glad being here is helping right now. And good to see you. A lot of stepping into my best. It's not easy. So I'm sending you support on that journey. Doing okay. The rest of the world okay, but inside, but you are, I mean, I need you to understand. I feel like your guides think you're doing great. It's going to feel more heavy right now. Yeah. Yeah, you do. So you take on people's energy and then you end up being the sad one because you're carrying their residue with you. Yep. So this is how, like, more spiritual cleansing. You need extra. You need extra. Absolutely. This is accurate for me. I feel stuck. And thank you, Avatar, for reaching level number 36. Yes, this resonates as well. My practitioner always tells me, "Oh, get dancing." Excellent. Thank you as well. Yeah, I'm processing all the time. Excellent. Yeah, okay. I'll work on implementing yeah, I keep on, it's going to help you a bit. Right. And it's nothing negative about it. I keep on saying it's like a grounding practice each time, right? To just kind of help you level set. Mhm. I'm relieved to hear this. I crave movement, but I don't find regular times to do it. Yeah, I see even now, like, even if it's like 10 minutes, right? You have to look at it as something to help you move energy through you. I'm very disconnected from anyone, but I miss it so much. But this is going to help you find it again, because I feel like the hard part about it is you're carrying others' residue related to it, which is why I need you writing down what that ideal relationship feels like, because it's going to help fortify you as you're navigating or helping others through their like shedding process. You're so welcome, dear. I didn't know when I started doing, yeah, that's the thing about it, right? We don't put enough quality in understanding how sacred that practice is, right? Like we've like, and that's often the space by which it's hard, because there's something very deep that's happening there. Yeah, you knew that you weren't expecting, right? You weren't expecting it to be such a spiritual service, but it often becomes that if you're doing it correctly. Yeah, it's a mashup. Absolutely. Yep, continuing forward in that way. And thank you, and sending you so much support on that journey. I hope these messages helped. I see a guide that's helping you with that. I feel like you've connected with them recently. And Fyra, thank you for the follow. Yeah, it was really cute, Avatar. All right. Oh, I appreciate that, Paquito. All right. And thank you for the compliment, Co. All right, we're going to continue right now. I'm still looking for Yaz. I got to tell you, when me and Yaz have this reading, I've been waiting for Yaz. Like, Yaz and I have been trying to have this reading for days. Okay. In the meantime, if anybody else wants to get on the list right now, the list is open. You'll be the next person read for. 3 cards for a donation of 29 or more. 4 cards for a donation of 23 or more for my subscribers, Binks and Lyo. Please keep in mind there are 3 things I do not read for across these apps: pregnancy, medical, and legal. Happy to give insight on anything in private readings, and you can book private readings on my site. We read for here highest priority messages from spirit, life path, dream interpretation, angelic, mediumship, past life, love readings, pet readings, animal spirit guide readings, akashic, mind, body, spirit, love, aura, um, symbol decoding as well. We are working. We are on a tight time frame today, Avatar. So we're prioritizing one cards and personals today. That said, if anybody's on the hold list and would like to be added back to the list today, just let me know the date that you're added to the hold list. I'll be happy to add you back as well. In the meantime, we're going to get started on one card readings for super fans and paid members. If you are a super fan or a paid member who would like a one card pull, just let me know. Just go ahead and put your question in the comments. If you would like to become a super fan or paid subscriber, you can do so now if you would like to retrieve your one card. I got you, Ava. One card on Soul Family, please. What are they currently working through? I feel like I see a lot of Soul Family working through disappointment as it relates to unhealed karmic cycles. And it's saying to me, like, the thing about it is, you know, you have to understand, and this often happens when I'm reading for older soul energy, but like the space by which we, like, one effectively tries to work through something, like you work through something as best as you can until you recognize the limitation in terms of whether another individual is invested in that work in the same way. And so everything that I'm potentially seeing there is some energy. Like, I feel like I've got a lot of that energy working through frustration on circumstances that feel familiar, particularly as it relates through remembering or recalling the experience from a past life. That's what's interesting about it. Like, the thing about it that's kind of wild when I read for you is I feel like your soul family is very aware of where they were in their past life. Is what I keep I feel like there's something about that. Like, that's how you're gonna recognize them. They're gonna be like they're gonna talk about their past life like it was yesterday. Yeah, like the space by which they're working through it. I just kind of see them being like working through that frustration. And I feel like it's funny because I almost feel like the energy saying, like, the energy that goes, "You're gonna think I'm crazy when you say this," and you being like, "Humor me," like you being like, "Humor." Me. Absolutely. And thank you, Nacho, for the follow. Excellent. Just reading over. And thank you, Ev, again. Oh, that's beautiful. I love that for you, Glam. That's perfect. Yep. One card, Bridget, highest priority. You know, it's interesting because don't, you know, here's the thing about it. I don't know why I keep on hearing, like, I don't, it's interesting. Like, it's an interesting message I'm getting, but I keep on hearing disappointment is how we grow, right? And the reason I keep on hearing that is, like, you'll often notice, right? Like, you'll often notice that energy that is not inclined to grow, right? Is often reactive or volatile in terms of identifying or recognizing the like, and it says to me, like, it's interesting too because, like, and I think you know this, everything reaches a balance point, right? And this is why when you recognize that everything's working, like everything reaches a balance point, then you understand that there's nothing sillier than trying to tip a scale, because it's the like it's the observation or the understanding of the quality and condition by which, like, I keep on seeing, like, when others perceive that, right? Like, it almost says to me, like, when others perceive that, there's like, like, there it's like conversation. It's like it's giving me a little bit of like conversation over, and I feel like it's really hard because I literally, I like, it almost feels like somebody, it's like, it almost feels like someone like trying to be chatty with you because they're seeking information, right? Like, it's like I keep on seeing like someone being friendly until you recognize that they're trying to ring you for information, and then it's like that, you know what I mean? Like, if you're experiencing something like that, you know, I feel like the ability to say, right? Like, I feel like it's the ability by which you say, um, it's hard too, because it almost feels like someone trying to ask you, like, it nothing is more uncomfortable than someone asking you a direct question that they have no business asking, right? Which is like, and I feel like you can always say to somebody, like, in those moments, like, do you recognize how invasive that question is? Like, almost helping another person. Like, this, you can literally say to somebody, I'm surprised you would ask that, right? Because it's the surprise, like, just articulate how you feel when somebody, like, just tell them how you're feeling about the fact that they would ask something like that. Like, let your emotion help them understand the quality by which you're receiving it. Ella. Ooh, card please on that bumblebee. Um, Bees are often connected to legacy and past life because they store collective memory, right? So I feel like the observation by which I feel like you're seeing a bee is you potentially broadening, like, you're energetically broadening your field right now of familiarity to yourself in relationality to being able to understand the quality and nature of what it is that you're working through, right? Like, across, like, I keep on getting like across generations. um Animal oracle card, yeah, the bull energy. um like, this is often like like the space by which we sometimes say, like, the space by which we get frustrated by someone, but then we say to ourselves, oh, they've always been like this. it's like it's like the observation that you work into, like, it's like feeling the frustration across the expanse of time, or like working through something in a way by which you're able to identify like what another person's like deeper lessons are. there is something there's something of value and importance that occurs there, because it helps us build more presently in the space of finding, like, holding the present sacredly, is what I keep on getting. Avatar, highest priority, please. Like, here's, every time I read for you, I get this energy, right? Like, an argument, like someone who, like, there's nothing more dangerous than someone who says, like, I love arguing with you, and being like, could you imagine if we just agreed? Like, you know, because, like, there's somebody like, oh, and it's interesting too, because, like, as I was like, there you go, there goes the mic, like, energy that says, I love arguing with you is perpetually picking fights, you know? Like, that's like what, like it's like, it says to me, like, you're not there. Like, you're not there, right? You're not there. Like, it's like, it's at, like, it's like, it's not, you're not there to be another person's emotional or a spiritual punching bag, right? But, like, and often, like, and that's the thing about it, like, often energy like that, and I like point out often energy like that's like, oh, you can't handle me being like, no, you shouldn't be like that. Like, who raised you? You know what I mean? Like, who raised you? Like that's it's like when I see energy like that, you really want to be like, who raised you? Like, are you okay? You know? Absolutely. The collective. So Sherry, we're on a time constraint today. So we're prioritizing one cards and personals. Also, please remember, true readers don't ask you to private message them. Be safe out there. And remember, this is my only account. Yeah, this has to, I mean, don't, I mean, I feel like you're already moving through it, but like if it's still like, I feel like the space by which like often, like especially right now, I'm noticing that there's a lot of this like karmic return that's happening. Like if it feels like that's returning, be like, did I stutter? Like, did I stutter? Like, don't let somebody articulating that they miss are like, I keep wondering, I miss arguing with you is not an apology, right? Like, I miss arguing with you is not an apology, right? Like, is all I keep on hearing. You're so welcome, Sherry. Hi there. I'm just reading over Ava. um, Absolutely. Yeah, I love talking about past lives because I also feel so connected to mine. And I feel like they're gonna be very much in the same way, right? I feel like they're gonna be very in touch with that as well. I got you, Ivana. One card angelic, please. Um it's interesting because I just keep on getting I feel like I keep on seeing some kind of quality or experience by which like and this is the thing about it, right? Um you can't heal with anybody who believes you're being unrealistic, is what I keep on getting. Because there's something about like I you know, I feel like there's a very important message that's coming through on this, and I want to write it down in your book. But somebody who was calling you your highness was getting high off your energy. It's all I keep on hearing right now in terms of this reading. Somebody who was calling you, somebody who was calling you your highness, they revealed themselves. They were getting high off your energy. Is all I keep on getting. I need to write that down for you. Mhm. Pay attention to that. Right? Like that's someone revealing themselves in terms of getting high off your energy. Yeah, bottom of the deck. Yeah, you're not an addiction. You're an experience, right? You're not an addiction, you're an experience, but you can't get anywhere with energy like that. You can't get anywhere with energy like that is all I keep on getting. And I feel like that you know, I feel like that can sometimes yes, like it says to me like, it's giving me somebody potentially like, you know, like I keep on and like the space by which another person tries to come towards you in a way that doesn't make energetic sense is what I keep on seeing, you know? Like if they're not being respectful to you, like there's no convert like if I keep wondering if you want it to make sense, like this is your clarification. Thank you so much, dear. Because I feel like the reason that's coming through is you're working through some kind of karmic issue from the past where it didn't make sense if someone was articulating that they didn't like you, why they kept on coming towards you. Like this is like the clarification point that's coming through on it. Thank you. Excellent. All right. Just confirming. Yeah, exactly. Yeah, very much in alignment with that. You're so welcome. Okay, excellent. All right, final call right now for anyone who is a super fan or a subscriber who has not had a one card reading yet today, or anybody else who would like to get on the list right now. Just a reminder, if you would like to get on the list right now, the list is open. It is 3 cards for a donation of 29 or more, 4 cards for a donation of 23 or more for my subscribers. Binks in my Lio. Please keep in mind there are 3 things I do not read for across these apps: pregnancy, medical, and legal. Happy to give insight on anything in private readings, and you can book private readings on my site. Excellent. All right. That said, if we have a pause that's potentially occurring right now, we are going to get started on our personal readings for today. I'm just going to take a moment to get set up here, and we will be moving into, how you doing today, Team Osana? Hope you're having an absolutely beautiful day. Excellent. And just a reminder, if you would like to get on the list, I'm still looking for Yaz, if Yaz is not here right now. But I also would like to remind you guys that we've got tarot class that is coming up. Our next tarot class is going to be held on, Thursday, June 18th at 6 p.m. PST. 10 p.m. Eastern. We will be continuing our studies. It's 5:30 p.m. PST, 8:30 p.m. Eastern. We are going to be continuing our studies into the tarot with a focus on the ACE cards. If you'd like to become a part of that tarot class program, all you need to do is head on over to my stack and become a paid subscriber. Your paid subscription to my stack is your ticket of entry into our live classes each and every month. You will also, as a paid monthly subscriber, have access to over 9 hours worth of material in the Tarot Church Library Class Archive. Now, it's not necessary to catch up. I'll always do my best to give you an update on everything we've studied prior to beginning the next class, but the material is there for you to receive as you're ready to receive it. You'll also have access to over 9 hours worth of material in the Tarot Church Library Class Archive, as well as, again, if you become a founding member, not only will you have a discount on the full year's worth of readings, but you will also have the opportunity as well to have a mentorship class with me, where I will meet with you personally to assess where you are on your own personal tarot journey and give you the best insights in terms of how to utilize those classes to the best of your advantage, moving towards your tarot goals going forward. One of the things I tried to do in these classes was make them accessible to the absolute novice tarot reader as well as the seasoned reader. There's definitely something there for everyone. Don't let your lack of experience or your robust experience prevent you from joining us in these classes. And even if you don't become a paid subscriber to my stack, I would encourage you to follow me there to stay up to date on any new offerings and services. I also post my weekly newsletter there, which will give you insights on everything. We'll give you insights on everything we've been seeing in the cards over the last based on lunation cycles, as well in the Mystic Meditation articles that I post and the newsletter, which will give you updates on where you can find me each day and my daily schedule. That said, we're going to get started on today's daily collective read. Before we do so, let's warm up those intuition muscles with an intuition check. I've got the Animals Oracle card here. We're going to count back from 10. And when we get to 1, I will reveal the card. 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. We got here the seal. Thank you guys. We'll do it again after the next reading. And if you guys could do me a favor and share this live, I would appreciate it. Make sure anybody who would like to catch this reading live is here to receive it. That said, no better time than the present. Why don't we get started? Welcome, everyone. Happy Tuesday. I'm the Grace Strega, and I'm here to give you your tarot astrology for today, Tuesday, June 2nd, 2026. We are going to be moving through all of the signs today. The first sign that we're going to be reading for today is going to be Aries. Aries, we are starting with you. The last reading I had with you was absolutely wild. I don't know if you recall, but the last time we did a tarot astrology, there were a million cards that came flying out for Aries right now. I just went to begin this reading, and immediately, as soon as I started reading for you, 2 cards came flying out. Those 2 cards are effectively the Four of Wands in its upright in combination with the Knight of Cups in its reversal. I got to point this out. This energy right now for you, Aries, may be feeling like having to work through the audacity that you're energetically seeing in some energy right now. And the best way I can effectively describe it is when we are working through things in a way that we're trying to be most productive, the conversation that we effectively try to articulate has to do with what feels like it's helpful, what feels like it's energetically productive. So I feel like there's something really important there, particularly and especially as it relates to Aries kind of working into, right? Working into the space of navigating others' emotional consistency, right? And I feel like this often happens with Aries energy, okay? And often when I'm reading for Aries energy understands to their core when I say angry baby doesn't get the bottle, because it's understanding that when we are working through maturity, then the most unreasonable thing to bring towards things is anger. Because anger, right? Unless our anger feels clear, like unless our anger has a clear direction attached to it, then it's the space by which we're energetically projecting our feelings upon one another. So I feel like there's something very important that I see is going through right now for Aries, having to have conversations upon, right, what feelings are energetically justifiable. Third card for Aries, and this is why I waited to reveal it. Yeah, especially as it relates to experiences or situations related to the past, right? Because a lot of that work that I'm potentially seeing there, and the thing about it, and Aries, you'll often understand this, right? We don't move away, right? You don't move away from situations hoping to bring other emotions out in someone, right? Because often you see like the quality and condition by which another person tries to elicit feelings by creating distance is remunerative, right? Like it's remuneration. It's somebody who looks, it's someone who treats their energy, right? We don't create distance as a form of punishment, because often that space, right? It's like when another person tries to punish us with, like, you try to punish an Aries with distance, you'll never see them again. Is what I keep on getting. And this is the thing about it, right? You can go ask Aries about it and be like, why do you not talk to that person? And they'll be like, oh, I'll tell you. And like, here's the thing about Aries, Aries won't mince words about it. They'll be like, oh, they tried to distance, right? They tried to punish me with distance. And then forgetting that you're a track star. You know, that's what I keep on seeing with Aries. Somebody being like, you can't punish someone with distance who's a track star. You can't do it. It's not going to happen. Is what I keep on seeing, right? because that, and that's the thing about it. Like, and like, and here's the thing. And I feel like for a lot of the Aries energy, the ability to potentially talk about it. Here's the like Aries, like Aries doesn't mind talking about it. Aries will dish it out. Aries will be like, which course do you want? You know, like Aries will have receipts on it. You know, they'll be they'll be like exhibit A. So I mean, listen, I don't know what else to say to you in relationality to that, because I feel like for a lot of Aries, right, is working through, but I also feel like, and again, Aries will also, like, this is also all like, and here's the thing about it, Aries understand like checking egos at the door is how one works through something. So I feel like that's really important there, Aries, especially with all those cards. Cause like there was a lot of cards. You got to go back to last week's reading in relationality to that. Cause that was some silly stuff I was seeing there. Continuing right now, Taurus. Wow. Did you see what that card just did? Taurus. What's going on? Got real quiet. Nothing more, nothing more dangerous. Nothing more dangerous on this earth than a quiet Taurus. Nothing more dangerous on this earth. Nothing more dangerous on this earth than a quiet Taurus. Nothing more dangerous on this earth than a quiet Taurus is what I keep on seeing. Because here's the thing about it. Like you'll often notice, like here's the thing, like Taurus, like there's a little engine, right? I like to describe when when the Taurus is working properly, there's a little it's funny too, because I know that they're not cats, but Taurus purr. Okay. And the reason that Taurus purr is that it's the constant stream of like consciousness, like the constant stream of consciousness that comes out of a satisfied Taurus is literally what I like to describe as the Taurus purr, right? Oh, it's like, it's the engine's running. Okay. It's like, oh, look, the engine's running. It's fine. Right. Which is why, like, when a Taurus, when like every other sign, if you heard the same sounds from any other sign, you'd be like, are you okay? But a Taurus is like, "Aw." Like, it's like, because it's the purr of the Taurus. Is when a Taurus gets quiet that you're like, why don't I hear, like, it's the last thing you hear. Like the last thing you hear is like it's like it gets a little scary. You're like, why is it, where's that, like it's like, why isn't the engine running? So I feel like there's something about that. And I think that what's important about that, and here's the thing I'm gonna say, about it, Taurus. Okay. And I know you don't want to hear this. I know you don't. It's good to talk about things. Okay. It's good to talk about things. And that, because here's the thing about it. When you're talking about things, you're making sure energy doesn't have to chase after you. Okay. None of this. I don't want to hear any, listen to me. I don't want to hear any of this. If they wanted to, they would nonsense from you this week. If you want them to, tell them. Okay. Okay. None of this, if they wanted to, they would. If you need it, tell them. Okay. If you need it, tell them. Because the thing you have to recognize, okay, the thing you have to recognize, all right, is that there's something called a flow state. Okay. There's something called the flow state. And I know that this is not what you necessarily experience, but there are those who don't want to interrupt a flow state. Okay. And so you have to understand, and this is why I hate energy that articulates, especially Taurus, the worst thing you can do for yourself, right? Don't be self sabotaging on if they wanted to, they would. Because maybe what you're experiencing is someone that is very worried about disturbing a flow state. Okay. So you can't make sure that you're not accidentally creating double negatives in your experience right now, which is the modality by which you articulate something and then you wonder, like you can't say you need space and then wonder where everybody went. Okay, like you can't say you need space and then wonder where everybody went, right? You can't articulate upon the fact, and I feel like this is either Taurus saying that, explaining this to someone, or working through it, right? None of this, none of this, if they wanted to, they would kind of business. It's understanding, right? That we can be the force of change that we hope to see in situations and circumstances. Okay? You've got weight. Okay, you've got weight. Like that's the thing about Taurus. Like you've got weight, okay? And either you can use it to anchor you in things or you can pull things with it. Okay? So make sure that you're articulating upon what your energetic intention is before you make an assumption, right? Don't let a false assumption self sabotage you in relationality to working through something. Have the conversation before you make a determination. Okay, continuing right now, the next sign we're reading for today is, what do we got here? Our Geminis. How are we doing, Gemini? Okay, that feels right. Yep. Okay, two more, please. I've got a cantilevered seven of wands here, as well as an eight of swords in its upright, and a knight of pentacles in its upright. Here's the thing about it. And I like to point this out. Geminis don't like to complain, but like when a Gemini complains, like it becomes a refrain. Like that's the funny thing about it. And I need to point this out. Like when we talk about every other sign, like here's the thing about it. Like it's like I love Geminis because Geminis are like, I don't want to complain. Cue the music, maestro. Like, you know what I mean? You are literally, when a Gemini says, I don't want to complain, be prepared for an ensemble. Like be prepared. Like, and I love it because Gemini's always, and I love the fact that Gemini's always start that. They always start, right? Like every Gemini goes, I don't want to complain. Be prepared. Be prepared. But I have prepared a lecture on I have prepared a lecture on complaining just for a moment like this to come again. Like, I don't want to complain is literally like the Gemini, like having the opportunity, right? It's like all that stored data, right? It's like there it comes. Like there's something about that that's really important because, and that's the thing about it. Like Gemini, you couldn't complain if you tried. Because I want to point this out. Okay, here's the thing about it. Complaining is articulating upon things, is state complaining. The only thing that's complaining is identifying. You have to understand, and this is what often happens with Geminis. Geminis don't understand what complaining is because Gemini's like, why are you complaining if you could just be changing, right? Like, why would you complain about anything when you could just be actively changing? So the hard part about it is that sometimes it's very hard for those with Gemini placements to sit in the presence of a complaint, right? Because often a complaint is articulating upon, right? Like it's articulating upon the frustration of something, right? Without putting any energy, right? Like it's like it hurts. Like when I say it hurts the Gemini, like it literally hurts the Gemini because there's Gemini like like Geminis are just like solution machines. They're like, oh, I know, I can think of 15 ways to fix that. Gemini's being like, I can think of 15 ways to fix that. And the one thing I'll say to Geminis right now, and I know listen, Gemini, I'm gonna hold your hand. I'm gonna hold your hand when I say this. Okay. Sometimes I know that this is not going to make any sense to you. Sometimes it feels good to talk about things because it creates strength in being able to bear something. Okay. I know it doesn't do it for you. I know it doesn't do it for you. I'm not talking about you, But I'm saying for some, okay, I want you to navigate the wild idea that there are some energies that in the space that in the space of talking about something, they become stronger, right? They become stronger in being able to navigate something that they're experiencing, because what do they need? That capital V. Okay? Sometimes energy is not looking for a solution, they're looking for validation. And here's the thing about it, Gemini, I'm not saying, like, I actually feel like there's some situations right now, there could be some situations with Gemini going, I can't validate you and feeling that way, right? For some of the Gemini energy right now, and it feels like a little bit of an even split. Some Gemini energy going, I can't validate that feeling because I don't think you're feeling it properly. Versus someone saying you have a right to feel like that can go a long way in helping somebody identify what it is that they need. Right? Sometimes energy wants to articulate something. Don't think of so much this week. Don't think so much this week of solutions. Think about validating or not validating. And the gift that we give in terms of helping when you're not able to validate another person's feelings, there are gentle ways. I know there are gentle ways to say that beyond you're wrong, right? Have you considered? I want you to write this down in bold letters. Have you considered? Okay? Not you're wrong. Have you considered? Okay. Continuing. Thank you so much, Gemini. Continuing right now, the next sign we're reading for is Cancers. Oh my gosh, Cancers. I already see what this card is. Two more. Page of Wands in its upright, with King of Cups in its upright. Yeah, we got to talk about it right now. And Wheel of Fortune. Yeah, these are the planets currently in Cancer right now. Okay? Cuz here we go. Right, what do we got? We got Jupiter, right? We've got Jupiter here in Cancer. We got Venus in Cancer, and here comes Mercury. Here comes Mercury. Here comes Mercury. Who are you? What are you getting ready to talk about, Cancer? What is going? Got to get some stuff off the chest. It's good. It's good. It's good to get things off the chest, right? And I think it's really interesting to see this on top of all the stuff that we see here. Go find Gemini. Go find, go find, go find Gemini and say you need to feel validated. But listen, I think so. Here's the thing, Cancers. Like, this is what I have to identify. Okay, state your intention before you start a conversation. Start with the intention. Please, please start with the intention before you start a conversation this week, which is saying, this is my intention in relationality to the direction that something's going. This is my intention as it relates to what I hope to effectively bring forth to something. Because there's something I keep on hearing, there's something very fortifying that I see right now, particularly in the space of articulating or stating intention, specifically and particularly as it relates to being able to identify to another person why something is so important to you. Okay? And the thing about it is, especially with the seven, especially with the 7 of Pentacles in its upright, the thing you have to understand is um identifying what we're working towards, right? Unified approaches, making sure that you and another person are on the same page as it relates to what you are trying to energetically do. Because I feel like it's interesting, because I feel like there's some direction setting that's occurring right now for Cancerian energy. And it's important because sometimes direction setting reading, like, it's interesting that I was trying to say like conversations, but the word that I got was reading that was coming through. Because when we have the best intentions, we're able to articulate why right? We're able to articulate why something is important to us. We're able to put that force of intention towards things in order for something to be even more beautiful than we expected or anticipated it to be. So make sure, right? Like make sure that you're holding that. And I keep on seeing like set the intention before you bring up an uncomfortability, right? Make sure that you articulate upon why you're expressing how you feel as you're feeling it, because I feel like the state by which you're effectively able to articulate that will help deepen a relationship further in this moment. But the most important thing I keep on seeing is um like that observation, right? Tell somebody like tell somebody not only what you need but how much time you need is what I keep on seeing. Because I feel like I see like I feel like like I don't know what this is, but I feel like for some of the Cancerian energy right now, like trying to make like really like trying to tell somebody something that speaks to your heart space. Like I feel like this is like it feels very much like heart to heart energy right now. But the most important thing that like make sure that somebody understands that if you like the difference between being available for a conversation and being like, I need you to be present because I really want to unpack something heavy with you, right? Like that's how we can energetically make sure that energy knows like the type of conversation we're hoping to achieve with them. Thank you so much. Leos. Oh, my Leos. Oh, Leo. What's going on right now? We got a transverse two of swords. Transverse two of swords here. Queen of swords in its upright. Temperance card in its upright. Um, I gotta tell you something. And I feel like it, and I want to point this out. Um, every Leo you've ever met, like Leos can count, right? Like Leos can count the like I keep on getting Leos can count the daggers in their back because it's often the space by which like and here's the thing about it. The observation of a Leo in another person's ability to throw a dagger, you have to understand Leos don't Leos don't throw daggers. Leos drop mics. Okay, you have to understand. I don't know how many times I have to tell you guys this. Leos, Leos don't need, Leos don't need to throw daggers. Leos drop mics. And the thing about it is Leos will drop mics on the daggers that are thrown at them. And that's why, like, and that's the thing about it, because Leo, you have to understand, like when Leos get to that point, like when a Leo gets to that point, like recognize that they're not doing like you have to understand this is the degree of compassion that a Leo has in relationality to the energy around them. Okay? Leos only do that. Like Leos do that when something needs to be energetically addressed, right? And the thing about it is like the space by which a Leo has to address something, it's already if a Leo has to address it, it is already so far, it's already so far off the reservation that the fact that the Leo has to address it is like it's like the Leo that almost articulates and says, right? When a Leo like that is the Leo literally like they're like the Leo's assessment is often the sound the last sound you hear because it is the Leo that potentially articulates to another how patient, how remarkably patient, right? That is the Leo's patience having reached the full breath, right? The full breath the full breath of the Leo reaching its patience. What do you often like? And then, right? There goes that roar. Like, there goes that roar. And the roar, what's filled with the roar? Truth, right? There's what's in that roar. Nothing but truth. Nothing but truth, right? Like, there you go. Right there it is. And I feel like for a lot, I mean, like, listen, I can't, I don't even know what to say to a Leo that's at this point, right? Like, it says to me, like, I can't, like, what am I supposed to say to you? What am I can't, well, I'm not going to say anything. Like, I can't, like, they did, like, what do we even say to a Leo at that point? Like, the thing about it is, it's like, and I want to point this out, when Leos get to that point, has nothing to do, right? Like, I feel like Leos are like, I don't know who raised you. Like Leos being like, I know it's hard. Some energies is not raised right. You know, I know it's awful. Like, I want to say, I know it's like, I can see a bunch of Leos being like, what's wrong with them? Like, some energies is not raised right. You know, like no standards, no energetic standards. I can't, like, if another person, does not have standards, then I feel like it's this, and this is why you'll see Leos, right? This is why you'll see Leos that often articulate that, because when Leos see something that lacks all standards, right? Like they don't realize what they do, right? It's like, I totally, it's like, you know, I can see the Leo like working through it and being like, what's wrong with them, and being like, I hate to break it to you, but some energy has like no standards. You know, it's sad but true, right? And it's hard when you reach that point. But like, that's like, sometimes, like, that in itself, the fact that you recognize it, remember, that means you have them, right? Like, remember, that means you have them. Continuing right now for Virgo, 3 cards for Virgo. Got Queen of Cups in its reversal, Magician card in its reversal, Four of Pentacles in its reversal. This is feeling very similar. This is feeling very similar to Leo energy, to be perfectly honest right now. And then I want to point out, I'm not surprised to see that, because the one thing I want to observe, like, here's the thing with Virgo energy. All right. Things like, and I keep like, this is something that's very important that happens with like Virgos, and it has to do with identifying, like, perfect never means left out. Okay? Perfect never means left out. And why do we say, like, why do I see Virgo going through perfect never means left out? Okay? Because the sound of trauma, right? The sound of trauma occurring, and this is why it feels very akin to what Leos are dealing with, is someone being like, well, right, the space by which somebody goes, I didn't want that. I didn't want, like, I didn't want this energy there because I wanted something to be perfect. And that is the sound of an atrocity, right? That is the sound of an atrocity occurring, right? The modality by which, and I keep on saying, you can say that about things, but you can't say that about people, right? You can say that about objects, right? You can say that when you're creating something, but not when it comes to people. Because the modality by which another person, right? Like, that is like right there. Like, I feel like there's something about that with Virgo navigating some kind of elite energy here, right? And here's the thing about it. This is why elite energy can't see themselves, because elite energy will always be like, oh, well, you know, I wanted it to be oh yeah, okay, so you're being elite. There it is, right? Oh, look, everybody, please, what I would like to turn your attention to the elite energy that was just trying to be perfect by trying to articulate, by negating another person's right to be somewhere, right? I'd like to turn your attention to the elite energy that was trying to negate another person's right to be somewhere, right? Like, that is when Virgos see that, you know, like, like Virgos, like, working through that. Like, I feel like in that way, this is a lot of the Virgo saying, like, this is Virgo working through, right? Like, when you're working towards perfect, there's always space to make something better, right? Perfect is making space. Perfect is making space. It's not found, right? It's not found in the space by which you articulate upon the fact that you are like it's saying to me like the modality by which another person tries to hold on to something, being like, sounds to me like you're being very elitist and possessive about something, right? So I feel like for a lot of that energy, like working through that capacity of care, right? I feel like that's a lot of the energy that's potentially under. I keep on hearing perfect is collective, right? Which is the work that we do, right? The work that we do to effectively facilitate and help each other as we are able and as we can, right? Rather than, like I keep on hearing, like rather than the modality of another person, like rather than the modality of another person trying to trying to energetically do something in such a way, right? And trying to energetically do something in such a way that doing something they know, like doing something that they know is not okay. And being like, yeah, there's a word for that. Right. Oh, you were doing something that you know wasn't okay, but you were trying to make it perfect. There's a word for that. It's called cheating, right? Like there's a word for that. Like doing something you know not that's not okay to make something perfect. There's a word for that, and it's called cheating, right? Like, I see, like I feel like I see. Continuing right now, the next time we're reading for today is Libra. Libras, my Libras. Can I get 3 cards for my Libras right now? Oh, my Libras, my Libras, my Libras. What do we got here? 6 of Cups and it's upright. King of Wands in its upright. 6 of Wands in its upright. You know, the one thing that we energetically observe, and here's the thing about it, and I need to point this out, Libras, I know you know this, my dears, but love is what we feel like. Love is what we do when we don't feel like it, is what I keep on getting, right? Love is what we do when we don't feel like it, which is the understanding. It's the quality and understanding of recognizing that the consistency we create is the sound of us building a supportive environment. And I feel like there's a lot of Libras. Like, go up to the Libra that you know and say to the Libra, tell me the story of that empty plate, right? Because I feel like this is the quality by which others don't recognize Libras. Like, Libras will sit there. You know, Libras will sit there with an empty plate, right? And seeing others' plates being filled. And they'll literally say, it's okay. I wasn't that hungry anyway, right? Like, that's the quality that a Libra often brings to things, because the compassion and care, right? The compassion and care by which a Libra, right? And this is the sound of you losing like the best force that you've ever experienced, because the observation of a Libra that's spending all of their time making sure that others feel energetically supportive, right? Doing all of that work in all of those ways, right? The experience by which, right? Like, and I want to point this out, there are moments where Libras will do everything to make something as easy for another person as possible, right? Like the modality by which the Libra will literally pave a path, right? Watch a loving Libra pave a path to make something as energetically easy as possible for another individual, to show them that they care, right? Watch a Libra do everything possible right? Like there's literally, like there's the Libra that you have that's moving mountains, just requiring someone to lift a finger, right? And in that modality, right? And I need to point out, for a lot of Libra energy, right? Like that space or that observation, right? Like this is often what occurs in the space by which the Libra is doing everything possible for the sake of those around them, literally moving mountains so that all someone needs to do is lift a finger. When they see the energy being ignorant upon that, there's nothing else to say, right? There's not like and I want to point out, and like the thing about it, Libras, is, right? You know what it means when we bring our force of intention to things. So I feel like if somebody, don't let another person's negligence change you, right? Let it transform you. Okay? I'm going to say that again. Don't let another person's negligence change you. Let it transform you, right? Let it reaffirm. Let it help you remember your own ability to transform, because that, and I keep on getting, that is not conditional. That speaks more towards who they are, has nothing to do with who you are. I know how hard that can be, but that ability of potentially recognizing and identifying it is what is going to potentially help identify and see, right? Like helping you work through the robust possibilities of what exists within your own self. Thank you so much, Libra. Continuing to read right now, the next sign we're reading for is, oh, my Scorpios. Oh, these Scorpios. You were having a wild reading. You were having a wild reading last week, Scorpio. What's going on here? What's going on with our Scorpios? I don't know why. If you love your life, don't mess. Yeah, like, oh my God. Nine, double nines. It's fine. It's fine. Nine of swords in its reversal. Nine, like nine of wands in its upright. Ace of Pentacles in its reversal. This is a continuation of what I was reading last week for Scorpio. And here's the thing with Scorpio energy. Like Scorpio energy, like and this is why I adore, like to a certain extent, I adore Scorpio energy, because Scorpio energy will literally watch somebody, right? When a Scorpio has clocked someone, here's the thing about it. Scorpios don't tell, they clock. Okay, Scorpios don't tell. They clock, right? Because once they clock somebody, it's Scorpio's favorite meal. Like Scorpio's favorite meal is being like, oh my gosh, I've clocked them. Oh, watch. Okay, ready, and boom. Like, okay, and now watch what they're gonna do, and boom, right? It's like literally. And especially when Scorpio finds somebody like doing something that they ought not. It's they ought not. Like this is Scorpio's favorite meal. It's their favorite meal. It's their favorite meal. It's like, oh wait, my show's on. Everybody, shh, shh. No, everybody, my show is on. Right? Because here's the thing about it. Like Scorpios won't articulate on it. They'll get popcorn. You know what I mean? They'll get popcorn. They'll invite their friends over and be like, okay, ready? Are you ready, guys? Watch this. We're having a watch party. Like it's like, because it's the ability, like, here guys, watch the Audacity, right? It's like, oh, the Audacity's on. Would anyone like to, oh my gosh, the Audacity, hooray, the Audacity. So I feel like, again, and I want to describe this, like this is, and I want to point out, this is Scorpio like turning, right? This is Scorpio's ability to turn sour grapes into wine, right? Like that's the thing about it. If there's one sign that knows how to turn sour grapes into wine, is it's a Scorpio. So it's like, don't give, like, I can't blame you. I can't blame you, Scorpio. Like, who's giving you sour grapes? You know? Like, it's like, I can't blame you here, cuz like, look, this is you, like, and I want to point this out, right? Like, I keep on hearing, if they didn't want sour grapes, don't do it in the first place. I don't know why I'm getting something about this, but it literally does. It feels like somebody, like, don't throw shade at a Scorpio. Like, don't throw shade. I don't know what to tell. Why would you do that? Like, why would you do that? Do you know what you've done? And I mean, like, but here's the thing about, and I have to understand, like Scorpio, like, I have to point out, it's also okay to process something, you know. And the one thing I will say, okay, the one thing I'll say for Scorpio is, make sure that you're talking to someone about navigate, like, make sure that you're walking through, like, don't, like, make sure that you're working into the context of identifying and recognizing, like, what, like, I keep on hearing, you know what I'm going to say, okay, things that are good, not things that feel satisfying, okay, things that feel good, things that are restorative, not satisfying. You know what I mean by that, right? Like it says to me, like, make sure that you're doing something that feels like it's bringing something into a positive space, rather than not rather than a space by which you're doing something that'll further make you feel self-isolated, or in the space by which, like, again, no, like, no dark night energy is what I'm getting. You know what I mean? Like, none of this superhero stuff is what I keep on seeing, right? But like a positive superhero, right? Like, it's saying to me, like, do something in a way that feels like it brings good. Okay. All right, let's continue right now. All right, let's continue. The next sign that we're reading for right now is Sagittarius. Sagittarius. Oh, Sag, what's going on? Why is that card falling to the floor? Two more, please. The Hierophant in its upright. The ten of Pentacles in its reversal. And the Ace of Cups in its reversal. I feel like I see something. Like, the one thing I want to articulate right now is, you know, the thing you have to understand, and I have to point this out, and this is what I mean about this type of energy right now, is going to feel very different for depending on where you are in alignment. Sag, we just came through a very intense Sag moon. Okay. So I'm not surprised if you feel right now like your energy's waning. Okay. I'm going to tell you, it's in your head. Okay. It's the lunation cycle. We're coming out of a Sagittarius full moon, which means it's not surprising if you feel like your energy's like waning. It's, don't believe in the illusion of it. Okay. It's because, right, and we were trying to talk about this, right, a lot of that full moon energy that we experienced, right, there's a lot of things happening right after it. So I want you to understand, like, the one thing I see that's potentially important right now is not letting yourself, like, not allowing the waning, not allowing the waning of the energy from the Sagittarian full moon to make you wallow. Is, I keep on getting, like, now is not the time to wallow. Now is actually the time for Sagittarians to take on more, right, to move in new directions. And I want to point out, for every other sign right now, like, it's funny, because with every other sign right now, I've been saying, don't be starting anything in this energy. That doesn't count. That doesn't count for Sagittarian energy right now. Okay. Because, like, for Sagittarian energy, it's potentially going to help you, right? It's going to help you feel a bit of an uptick, having gone through, right? Like I'm sure that I'm like, listen, I'm sure you went through that. I'm sure you went through that, like I'm sure you went through that Sagittarian full moon feeling like, speaking of superheroes, feeling like a superhero, right? Because it was a Sagittarian full moon in Gemini season, which is like literally like I can do anything. I can do anything. Look at me. And now kind of working through that, we've got a Gemini new moon coming up, right? Which is like often the space by which the energy starts moving back into proportionality, right? Like it's no, it's just it's leveling. It don't over internalize the energetic leveling that's occurring right now, having gone through the amplification of your sign work, bottom of the deck, especially as it relates to you being energetically reliant, right? Like especially as it relates to, like, I keep on seeing, like, even like the context, right? Like don't let it bring you into, like, work upon consistency. Don't let it create, right? Like don't let it make you feel this space by which you're doubting yourself or your abilities, but just allow it to effectively, like, you like it's potentially requiring a little bit extra effort this week, but you have to understand that's related to the fact that you're going through, like, you're going through the full moon hangover more than every other energy right now, right? So self-care is key, but also I keep on hearing self-care responsibly, right? Like something that feels good and is good, right? Not like not something that's going to move you further into that wallowing space. All right, continuing right now, moving into next sign that we're reading for today is the next sign we've got is our Capricorns. Capricorn, sun, moon, and rising. What do we got right now? What do we got? 3 cards. Ooh. Yeah, like this is like, I gotta tell you, I feel like there's something right now. I feel like there's something right now for Capricorn energy. Um, it feels I keep on getting, it feels personally, like, how do I describe this? It feels like a personal restoration moment. I feel like there's something about I mean, I'm not surprised too, because I have to point out the moon's currently in Capricorn. But what we're potentially identifying there is, the best way I can describe it is it feels like it feels self-affirming, right? The word that's coming through right now, like the word that's coming through right now for a lot of the Capricorn energy is self-affirming, right? And self-affirming is potentially experiencing something that feels like you paying, like getting, like the result of hard work, or something that you're doing that is potentially becoming more solid and stable. um it's in, like, the one thing I want to point out, like, and this often happens with Capricorn energy, particularly when I see energy doing this, like I see a lot of Capricorn energy, like, operating in the space of feeling like healthy, like stabilization coming through, and something that feels reaffirming. And at the same time that I see that happening, and I want to point out, like, especially with this Hierophant, at the bottom of the deck, um here's the thing, like, at the same time that I see a lot of that Capricorn energy working through something, and I want to point this out, there is something very important that Capricorns recognize as it relates to Capricorns. Like, there's nothing crueler to a Capricorn than when Capricorns make a decision, and it's only after a Capricorn makes a final decision on something that someone tries to raise the stakes. Okay? You never do that to a Capricorn, because that is Capricorn. Like, that is a Capricorn that feels, right? it feels like the ultimate betrayal to a Capricorn, because it's the space by which another person goes, I was just about to. No, they weren't, right? Like when you articulate to another person and you say that you're leaving, and another person goes, that's a shame, I was just about to. That was never going to happen, right? And Capricorns understand this. Like Capricorns understand, right? The weaponized Capricorns are deeply connected to the weaponization of woulda, coulda, shoulda, right? Like Capricorns are highly attenuated to the energy of trauma that effectively tries to say, oh, it's a shame you did that. I was just about to. No, they weren't. They're trying to punish you for your decision, right? Like that's all there is to it. And this is why Capricorns don't stick around for it, because the sound of another person trying to punish you for making a decision is somebody trying to offer you something sweet after you've already identified that you're done with it, right? It's literally, it's the imaginary course, right? It's the imaginary cup. So I feel like that if that's happening right now for Capricorn energy, done. Like absolutely done, right? I was just about to. It's like they're already out the door, down the street, around the block, is what I keep on getting. Thank you so much. Continuing, and I feel like that's, and here's the thing about it. You can articulate, right? You can articulate to another why it's not okay, being like, it seems to me, right? You can almost say, like, you say, it seems to me that's like you saying to somebody like you, that's somebody potentially trying to kick you on your way out, right? Like that, like Capricorns don't see that. Like Capricorns aren't affected by it. They see it for what it is. Continuing, and so don't, if you're experiencing that, I need to point out, if you're experiencing that Capricorn, let it reaffirm your decision. If you're experiencing that Capricorn, let it reaffirm the decision that you made, right? Let it reaffirm letting you know that it was the right one to make. Continuing right now for Aquarius. 3 cards for Aquarius, please. We've got the 6 of Wands in its upright, the Devil card in its upright, and the Hanged Man in its upright. These are some wild cards here, Aquarius. I'm not gonna, like, I'm just gonna be honest, but like the thing I keep on seeing in relationality to this is and I think that you understand this, right? And it's interesting too, because it works. It's like what I'm effectively seeing here is um we lead with our intentions, right? We lead with our intentions. And when we lead with our intentions, it doesn't require us to take the temperature perpetually, right? When we lead with our intentions, it doesn't require us to perpetually have to check the temperature of things, because the thing about it is the state or nature by which we energetically lead with our intentions is how we check the temperature on things, right? Because when we lead with our intentions and we check the temperature on things, then we're able to effectively identify or recognize, right, what feels productive or viable. Okay. But the space by which, and this is what happens, like when one does not, and I feel like this is either a conversation that Aquarius is having to another, or working through the self, right? This is why we articulate that there's no such thing as a good surprise, because like even when you're having a surprise, you can energetically prepare someone for the state or nature of being energetically surprised, right? It's the space by which we appraise each other, right? It's the space or nature by which we appraise each other, that we identify the quality by which we're energetically prioritizing one another. So I feel like there's something very important about that as it relates to you working hard to get ahead of things which is letting others know what your energetic intentions are as it relates to what you're doing, while also potentially, and this is what's nice about that, like when we effectively articulate that, then we can have that energetically reciprocated, right? It's the gift that we embody, that we then effectively receive. So if that's something that you need, think about how better to embody it, is what I keep on getting. Yeah, particularly and especially if it feels like, I keep on seeing like, this is what happens when we're navigating. Like, here's the thing about it, like fickle energy, right? Fickle energy is always changing. And this is why, like, fickle energy, even if the changes are good, they can feel traumatizing, because when we're navigating fickle energy, right, it often feels like we have to be in a constant state of readiness or awareness, right? It's like nothing is energetically inconsistent. Everything is inconsistent because we're constantly readying to catch something, right? So I feel like there's something about that in terms of having a conversation with another in order to build into, right, like the state or nature by which we articulate that preparation is a gift, because preparation allows us to do something as well as we can, rather than doing things at the last moment and then being surprised when things are energetically clumsy as a result. So I feel like there's something very important there, specifically and particularly as it relates to conversations, or like conversations in relationality to making determinations, or building into a sense of cohesion as it relates to plans, or what you're trying to do more effectively going forward. So it feels like a lot of planning energy right now around Aquarian, but make sure that you're articulating to another what those intentions are in order to be able to do it most effectively. Thank you so much, Aquarians. Final cards for today for our Pisces. Pisces, Sun, Moon, and Rising. What do we got here? Wow, we've got two cards out already. I'm going to hold on the third card right now, because the cards that we had that came through are effectively, we've got the Page of Cups in its upright with the High Priestess in its reversal. And I think like the thing about it is, I mean, Piscean energy, I think you know this. Piscean energy, Piscean energy does not have any, like, doesn't have any shape to see anyone played with, you know. And the thing about it is, when energy tries to, like, I keep on getting, when energy tries to play with people, right? Like, and you'll see this with a Pisces, right? When Pisces, like a triggered Pisces will work through the space of seeing another person play with someone, right? And the space by which we play with, and like the space by which we play with another person, you'll often see that Piscean energy articulate upon the experience, like the personal experience of why that feels so difficult. And this is often why, like, and I feel like there's something really important there, because I'll point this out. For a lot of Piscean energy, even if Piscean energy is not necessarily in communication with someone, Piscean energy is often very good, is very attenuated in being able to recognize and identify. Like, often, like the space of, like, there's not a Piscean on this earth that doesn't go like, I understand why, right? Like, Pisceans always understand the complexity as it relates to the fraught territory, right, between them and an individual. And this is why you'll often see, like, that's the funny thing about it, right? Um, like, because when Piscean energy is working to protect something, right? Like, I just keep on hearing the same thing, which is the observation of the fact that you do not need to be, like, you don't need to be Like it doesn't matter what's like like I like to point, it's like it's often you'll see this with Piscean energy. They have a very sibling mentality as it relates to those they care about, which is the space by which you'll be like, you'll often see a Piscean be like, we're fighting, but we're fighting. You're not fighting with them. I'm fighting with them. Like, you know what I mean? It's often that it's the space by which like it's often Piscean energy that goes, lay off my fight, right? And this is the thing about it, which is like, lay off my fight with the Piscean is often the space by which they try to articulate to another and saying, like, look, you don't understand the complicated situation, right? You've got no right in my fight, right? And that's why you'll see, like, that's why you'll often see a Piscean that's very protective of the fights that they're within, like they're navigating. Because when a Piscean is in that space where they energetically understand the complexity of situations, and then another person tries to jump on, like, you can't jump on a Piscean's aggression and try to claim it as your own, because Pisceans will often articulate, and this is the thing about it, right? That's different. Like that's somebody looking for a reason, right? Like that's somebody else looking for a reason to do something, right? That's somebody else looking for a reason to do something, and utilizing the Piscean energy in the process, right? And so I think that's interesting, because I almost feel like Piscean, like, holding on to their trauma, being like, this is my trauma, right? It's this is my trauma, it's not your podium, is what I keep on hearing, right? This is my trauma, it's not your podium, which is like Piscean energy being protective and almost saying to another person, you can't utilize me, like, you can't utilize the self as an example to get your agenda, right? Like, this is often what happens with a Piscean, is like Pisceans will see somebody being like, you can't utilize my pain to propel your agenda. And that space by which the Piscean recognizes that is the space by which everything energetically changes for the Pisces, because it's the Pisces that's able to effectively articulate upon that in a way by which it feels like the Piscean is empowered, right? It's like it's working through that. And even in the space by which they work through it, they find that point of strength. So if that's occurring right now, Pisces, I know it's sometimes hard to articulate that. Like, I hope that, like, let that observation fortify a conversation as it relates, to others, like encouraging one to do something or doing something. Like, I've got a lot of this, like, pushing and shoving around Piscean energy right now. Remember, like, your ability to feel, like, to be intentional, like, healthy energy respects, like, when we are in a healthy space, we respect each other's energetic choices. So I feel like that's something very important there. That Those are our astrological reads for today. I want to thank you guys so much for being here and receiving them. Just a reminder, if you would like to book a private reading with me, it is a two-step process. You have to book the reading, you have to pay for the reading. Please make sure you do both if you'd like to have that reading. Most importantly, please remember that I will never, ever, 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 ever reach out to you for a private reading. I will never DM you. I will never PM you. I will never slide into your inbox and tell you that I have a very important message that only I can deliver. The only way you can book a reading with me is if you book one on my site. So I'd encourage you to do it there. A couple of updates before we move into personal readings today. Again, I want to thank everyone who attended our recent class on the Court of Pentacles. Our next class will be held on Thursday, June 18th at 6 p.m. PST, 9 p.m. Eastern. We will be continuing our studies into the tarot with a focus on the ace cards. And just a correction, that class is happening at 5:30 p.m. PST, 8:30 p.m. Eastern. If you would like to become a part of that tarot class program, all you need to do is head on over to my stack and become a paid subscriber. Your paid subscription to my stack is your ticket of entry into our live classes each and every month. You will also, as a paid monthly subscriber, have access to over 9 hours worth of material in the Tarot Church Library class archive. Now, it's not necessary to catch up. I'll be doing my best to give you an update on everything we've studied prior to beginning that next class, but the material is there for you to receive as you're ready to receive it. You'll also have access to a one-on-one chat with me and the other students to ask any questions that you may have in relation to anything we've learned and studied thus far. And if you become a founding member, not only will you receive a discount on the full year's worth of readings, but you will also have access to over 20 hours worth of material in the Tarot Church Library class archive, as well as the opportunity of receiving a complimentary mentorship class with me, where I will meet with you personally to assess where you are on your own personal tarot journey and give you the best insights in terms of how to utilize those classes to the best of your advantage, moving towards your tarot goals going forward. One of the things I tried to do in these classes was make them accessible to the absolute novice tarot reader as well as the seasoned reader. There's definitely something there for everyone. Don't let your lack of experience or your robust experience prevent you from joining us in these classes. And even if you don't become a paid subscriber to my stack, I would encourage you to follow me there to stay up to date on any new offerings or services. I also post my weekly newsletter there, which will let you know about my in-person events as well as my online live schedule, and my Mystic Meditation articles, which will give you updates on everything we've been seeing energetically in the cards based on the lunation cycle. Just wrote one recently on this full moon energy that we're currently experiencing. Finally, I want to let you guys know that on top of my standard life path readings, I also offer mentorship classes. These are for any of my students seeking a more personalized educational experience with me. I take a very limited number of students for this reason, as those classes are focused on each individual's personal spiritual goals and journey work. Those classes can be purchased on an individual level or as a monthly class series, weekly or bi-weekly, as your schedule permits. Also, for my students that are seeking consistent weekly tarot support, I'm very happy to offer weekly tarot insight packages. That is a package of 4 30-minute reads, again, weekly or bi-weekly, as your schedule permits, so that you can stay more consistent on your personal journey at a discounted rate, as well as dream interpretation readings, which can be purchased per dream or as a series. Now, if you purchase the series, I would encourage you to start to keep a dream journal, as we will meet weekly or bi-weekly with that journal and utilize the tarot to understand the key themes and messages coming towards you in that space. I want to thank you guys so much for being here today and sharing in these messages, and we will do this again tomorrow. That is our daily collective read. I want to thank you guys so much for being here and experiencing it. The list is closed right now, but if you'd like to get on the list for tomorrow, you'll be the first person read for. And also, my friend, thank you so much. Congratulations to congratulations to Ivana. You got our highest gifter today. You will have a free reading coming towards you. And I would like to see, and thank you so much as well, Nikki. You came in second, so you'll have an additional card in your one cards as well. I am a little bit of short on time today, so I was going to ask Ivana if it's okay if we hold that that reading for tomorrow. I also want to just be mindful to see if there's anyone else who has not had a one card pull today that needs a one card reading. Absolutely. Good to see. Oh, Yaz is back. Excellent. Good to see you, dear. And just reading over some of the comments that came through as I was reading. Excellent. Excellent. We just did all of the signs. Excellent. If you missed any of it, this should be available as a podcast over on the stack, and it should be available as well over on the place where we keep the videos. Just bear with me. Just posting it here. Excellent. This is so helpful. You're so welcome, Glam. Excellent. You're so welcome, Ivana. And thank you for those gifts. Yeah, attract star energy. It's so on point on Aries. Thank you for confirming. Yeah, wacky Aries energy right now. Yeah, I'm beginning to dream of this healed energies coming my way. Ain't that the truth? Thank you as well, Ro. Excellent. Mm-hmm. Absolutely. Love this perspective on phrase. We're going to do yeah, we're the list is closed, so we're doing one cards right now. So if anybody hasn't had a one card pulled, just let me know. I'll be happy to read for you. Your brother is a Gemini solution literal machine. Yeah, exactly. Thank you, Ella. I just missed Taurus because I was arguing with a Taurus. You should go back and hear the reading. It'll be helpful right now. Absolutely. Let's go, Leo. True that. Yeah, that's our strengths for sure. Absolutely true. Thank you, Tail. So far gone. The limit. Yeah. Dropping truth bombs. Who raised you? Exactly. This would be something with my mom who would say she's a true fiery Leo. Yeah, Virgo. Yes. Lucky me. Yeah, absolutely. Oh my God, that was me yesterday with an elite energy. Elite energy was trying to be so rude. Oh, sending you support, Ivana. Thank you as well, Spaz. My eyes were popping and then my mouth popped. There you go. Yeah, helping each other. I connected to this as well with my Libra moon. Thank you as well, Team Lasana. Yeah, Scorpio moon. It's giving. Yeah, it is. Like I don't know who don't play with the Scorpio like that. That's literally me. I love a good crash out viewing party. I know. That's what Scorpio do. Would you like to come to my crash? Sag rising here, and yes, I spoke a lot. No problem. Late to the party. Yeah, Scorpios was wild today, Avatar. Hi there, Yaz. Excellent. And thank you, Lizzie, for sharing the live. Always appreciate when you guys share the live. Sherry, thank you for the follow. Yeah, we've been trying to reach you about your car's extended warranty, aka reading. Beautifully said. You're so welcome, Tail. Thank you for being here and receiving these messages. Absolutely. Excellent. And just reading over the comments. Resonating so much with the Leo energy. Thank you for also receiving these messages, Ava. Yeah, my Leo is an avoidant. Oh, sending you support on that, Nia. I'm gonna go look for a Libra husband. Yes, absolutely. Hi there from Portland. How you doing today? Yeah, we do it. We do lives daily here, Serenity. Make sure to subscribe, and you'll be able to know when I come online. Yeah. Oh, this was connecting to your sister. Thank you for confirming. Mm-hmm. Absolutely. Okay, chaos. Okay. Oh my gosh. All right. One moment, please. Let's see here. Excellent. So my friends, yeah, so my friends, I do unfortunately have a hard stop today a bit earlier. So Yaz, again, not to be too on the nose on it, but I don't think the reading's in the cards today either. Okay, here's the thing about it. I don't want to rush through that reading. I feel like there's potentially a lot going on there. So I don't want to be in a space by which I feel rushed in terms of communicating what I'm seeing there. So I appreciate that. And Nicole, I apologize. I saw that you got on the list too. If you're comfortable with having that reading tomorrow as well, I'll have you both on. You'll both be the first two we have, and you'll have priority, which means you'll be read for before we start the collective. Absolutely. Yeah, didn't expect that. I got you, Nikki. One card, highest priority, please. Hangman, I gotta point out, I feel like you're like there's something really important that I see that you're having to make sure that you go back and catch the read right now because I feel like I see someone working through an impossible situation. But I need to point out sometimes the observation when we're facing impossible situations, we can defy expectations, right? Yeah, especially with the seven of wands, right? When we are navigating impossible situations, that's when we raise bars, right? Yeah, right. Especially with the adder energy, right? Like I feel like I just keep on seeing impossible situation, raise the bar. Impossible situation, raise the bar. Absolutely. Yaz, one card, please, on the month ahead. What can you expect? It feels like it feels like something like it feels like I see you getting a lot done this month. Like it feels like there's a lot on your plate, but I keep on a lot on your plate, but you eat. Like I keep on getting like a lot on your plate, and then she ate is what I keep on hearing, right? because especially with this Raven energy, I feel like it's like it's saying to me, like, I almost see you kind of working through a way. Like I just keep on, like, it's giving me like some kind of jaw-dropping energy in relationality to you, like knowing, like not only knowing what you're doing, but being very good at navigate, like being very good at navigating others' ill preparedness is what I literally hear you saying, like, I prepared for that eventuality. You know? Absolutely. Excellent. No problem, dear. I love that. And thank you for also receiving this message, Mighty. Chaos, make sure that you're putting some care in yourself right now, right? It says to me, everything I keep on seeing, like it sounds to me like you're going through a deep egoic moment. So make sure that you're navigating that with a sense of like recognizing what you're trying, like what your energetic intention is in relationality to what you're trying to communicate. My friends, I want to thank you guys so much for being here today and sharing in these messages. So if you missed the daily collective read, it's currently up now as a podcast over on my stack and over on the place where we keep the videos. We will be back on tomorrow at our usual time. So 8:15 a.m., 7:15 a.m. PST, 10:15 a.m. Eastern. If you would like to get on the list today, you'll have first priority tomorrow, which means you'll be read for before we start the Daily Collective. Also, if you became a super fan or a paid member today, welcome. I'd like to invite you to join us over on our subscriber only Disco channel. You will find there you can introduce yourself to the collective. You'll also be able to find there a special coupon code in the perks section. They'll give you a discount to our tarot class subscription program. Our next class is going to be held on Thursday, June 18th at 6 p.m. PST, 9 p.m. Eastern. We'll be continuing our studies into the tarot with a focus on the ace cards. I want to thank you guys so much for being here today and sharing in these messages. Huge thank you to my followers, old and new. Thank you for being here and receiving these messages. Huge thank you to my subscribers. Your ongoing support means the absolute world to me. And I hope our mod, K Megan, is doing well. Thank you for all of your help, even if you're not here today. I hope you guys have an absolutely beautiful day. Please take care of yourselves. Please take care of one another. And we'll do this again tomorrow. Have a great day, everyone.